on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G, got what you need. Vitamin G, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G, got what you need. Vitamin G, got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin G. Ay. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G, got what you need. Vitamin G, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. Try run the town. Tell them no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as the head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's by smoke, then we tote all of that. From an ounce to a pound. Take it, they biting this now. Cause my drip right up the sea. How could they be? Give me a couple of rounds. Cause I'm a beast when I'm on vitamin G. You see they start crumbling now. Mad struck start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for cloud. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock blitz, know they look how it freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See, we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the gang, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them doors on the duty. I'm in Stixie, I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card costs more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. To reload the clip and record the clip is go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me wanna see tuned into that VGP. Take over the west and the east, and we got just what you need on vitamin G.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 258 of the Vitamin G podcast. I'm your host, Pharaoh, and with me today, I have the great Nappy Senshi and Omar. How are you guys doing today? I'll let you go first, Nappy. How you been? What you been playing?
I've been doing good. I know we haven't been on this show for quite some time. A lot has happened.
Like 2
Like
weeks.
one of the big, 2 weeks.
Feels like
one of the
forever,
biggest.
though.
It really does.
Yeah.
I almost got late because I was literally like editing a video. So one of the things I definitely have done was I participated in a Monster Hunter Wilds beta, and oh my god, that game was not optimized whatsoever. I mean, that game put the 4090 down to its knees, and the crazy thing about it was there was no ray tracing whatsoever in that game. And this is like this is actually the first time Capcom has implemented an open world game that's truly open world with the RE engine. And it made me realize, like, yeah, I don't think the RE engine is meant for this, like, for that type of open world game where there's like no loading screens.
The game's like 6 to 8 months from release, right?
Yeah, it's going to release in February. So we got like 4. I wouldn't say that the game is necessarily bad. It's actually really fun to play, but if you have a 10 series graphics card, you're pretty much screwed. You might as well.
It'll probably
you got to upgrade.
It'll probably come out ready for console, but it'll probably take another couple months for the.
Yeah, that's what they said. I'm gonna have to wait and see. So, but honestly, Monster Hunter Wilds. I mean, Monster Hunter Wild. Yeah, it's Wilds. Monster Hunter Wilds is it is a fun game. I enjoyed it. I mostly use the insect glaive and a longsword. So, and I love the new combos and new move stance. I love the world. It was overall just a great game. The customization system of building your character is way more in depth than compared to the other Monster Hunter games. Like they actually got the black hairstyles right. Yo, you can get like a high and tight fro. They actually got the fades right with the line. With the line. I'm like, yo, they actually got the black hairstyles on point. So I was pretty good with that. Also another thing, within the 2 weeks while I have not been on the show, I did post another controller review. So this one is actually the Nexus Warrior GameCube controllers. So both, as you see, these controllers are for the Nintendo Switch, and Nintendo GameCube, native Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Wii, and PC, and Android and iOS. Cool thing about these controllers is they have 2 programmable buttons with basically with trigger stoppers that turn them into mechanical keys. Well, actually, sorry, not mechanical keys, but 2 trigger stoppers. And you could take off the joysticks. If you probably have noticed, the black one has the original octagon ring around it, and the orange one does not. It has the regular circular ring. So if you want someone to play modern games with, you can. So after this video, if you want, you can go on my channel and check out this controller review. And also, I have another controller review that I literally was almost done editing before this video started, which comes out November 15th. This controller right here is called the Big One Blitz 2 controller. So this controller right here is a controller that has a 2000 hertz pulling rate. So this is the second controller that we got right now that has a pulling rate of 2000 hertz, which basically is 0.5 milliseconds. So it's one of the fastest controllers you can get on the market. Comes out November 15th, and Big One has given me an affiliate link. So when I post my review, you can use I got my very first affiliate link. So you use my affiliate link, I get a little kickback if you purchase this controller right here. Again, this controller is for PC, Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android. And I'm just really happy that Big One let me review this controller before it actually officially comes out for the rest of the world.
That controller's kind of sexy. I'm mad it don't work for Xbox.
There is a way.
I'm sure.
There's a $50 dongle that will allow you to use this controller. And honestly, this controller is great. It got gyro function, got 4 programmable profiles. You can use your mobile app to program it. You got a desktop app. Like, it is so customizable. It's crazy. But this controller is actually really good. I like it.
And it has the Hall effect joysticks?
Yes, it does. Actually, the upgraded TRM Hall effect joysticks. So it's like even an upgraded one where basically it's even more precise compared to regular Hall effect joysticks, but still uses magnets, just more so of a low profile, like voltage version, but it's really good. So again, this controller comes out November 15th. I am probably going to post this either later on tonight or tomorrow. But if you are interested in getting this controller for PC or Nintendo Switch or iOS and Android, just check out my video and use my affiliate link. I get a small kickback, and it's my very first affiliate link. And yeah, it's a great controller. I'm really happy I got this controller.
Does it come in multiple colors, or is that the only color?
So there is a blue. This controller does come in blue, but the blue one actually has like these regular analog joysticks compared to this one that has the Hall effect. So it's kind of like,
the blue is the
why would you do that?
Okay.
The blue one's a downgrade, unfortunately.
But
other than that,
I'd be a man of the people and ask questions that they might have before they go look for the website.
Yeah, no problem. And besides that, that's pretty much it as far as, also playing Metaphor, loving the game. The racism is real in that game.
Yeah,
but the game is great. Like, goddamn, I finally got onto my little ship or my little leg ship, and I'm just running around. I'm like, yo, why does everyone hate me?
A lot of these JRPGs are really starting to tackle I guess you can call it racism or classism or whatever.
It's basically like a racist classism thing.
Fair though, Final Fantasy 9 did that, and even 10.
Like Tales of Arise did it too. You got the Danon.
I'm saying a lot of them are doing it. Especially recently. I think it hits a little harder now with the voice acting and everything.
Now it's hit different.
Yeah.
Also now way more emboldened in actually showcasing it instead of being a little bit hush about it.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah, so it's just crazy to me. Like, my character's like, okay, I'm going to participate to try to become the king. Then all of a sudden, who the fuck is you? Wait, what tribe this man from? Oh, he's trash. He's garbage. I'm like, God damn, what did I do to y'all? I'm up here trying to build my morale with the whole town, and y'all just
the main character, his like basically his whole tribe was basically like annihilated. He's like one of the last remnants of it.
Especially the main character is perceived to be seen as worse than trash, even.
Yeah, I know. I can tell
because he's tribalist. Basically, they're basically tribalist. They're like nomad because their whole tribe got to.
Yep. So, but other than that, that's enough with my intro. So I'll let Omar take the stand for this one.
All right, Omar, what's
Not
going on with you, man?
just metaphor. I'm close to the end. I
God
think
damn.
like my character. Dude, I have put more than 110 hours in the game,
Man, I
if
put
not
like
more.
Jesus, I
I
only got
Yeah, no,
25.
I put like
it
7 hours in. Like adulting been
nah
kicking my ass lately.
nah nah. So basically, I read an article where it stated that um metaphor in the mid game it starts to give you less money. Like money is scarce in the mid game. I'm like, bet. So what did I do? I found every single enemy that dropped good loot and I start stealing from it.
Yeah.
99 and
Oh
I
man,
got it. And then you sell it. I'm now close to 5 mil. If
Yeah.
I want, I could sell my mana, which I'm not gonna do that, and I can literally go up to 999 mil. So yeah, it's an amazing game. Even it's absolutely GOTY contender. Even before I finished it, I read from someone and something about the ending,
Mhm.
so I have no idea what's gonna happen. So I'm curious what my opinion is going to be about it. But so far, it's absolutely GOTY material. Like the combat music is legendary.
yes, it is.
Um,
I'm like the hero on a passing.
yeah, I'm like,
I'm like, what?
who asked for this? But I love it. I never imagined a game to be so fantastic, like to have that trap and stuff like that. I'm like, why is it so weird? Yet, I'm like, are you gonna introduce us to the rapper that's rapping in the game? Will that be the plot twist? The rapper
Yeah,
is from tribe blah blah blah, like that. Yeah, the
it's
story, like it got twists and turns. It's still fresh, close to the end now. I still have no idea what's going to happen. Um, yeah, I can't say enough things about it. It's a close moment where I actually cried because of the game. Like, it's impactful. Again, Pharaoh said it right. It really hits with um, some of the heavy themes, and they're not shy away from being dark in the game. Like, this is not on the level of Final Fantasy 16, where every character in the game dies, but with this one, people have their comeuppance,
Yeah.
and um, yo, it's crazy. I'm loving it.
Okay.
I
Well, I
can't
mean,
say.
you're 100 hours in, and the game is what, about 3 weeks old. So yeah, you're definitely loving it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I've
I
been
wish
playing.
I had that time.
I
I
do have
mean,
that kind of time. It's just like I said, adulting's been kind of kicking my butt. I'm gonna get into that. I've been bouncing between that and Black Ops. So
Yeah, same.
yeah. But
I'm curious to see what's going to win GOTY. This FF7 Rebirth, which I don't want it to win GOTY, or Astrobot.
uh,
Hmm.
I don't think Astrobot will get it because I don't
It's
know.
absolutely getting nominated.
It's a platformer.
It
Uh,
doesn't matter. Trust me, it's gonna be nominated.
it might get nominated, but I don't think it's gonna get the award. Because
Didn't they already put out the list of nominees because a lot of people were complaining that Wukong got snuffed from the nominations.
Well, so actually, in Golden Goitik, Wukong was nominatable. I
no, the VGAs, the VGA ones, the ones that people care about the most, VGAs, they haven't put
oh,
theirs
I
out yet.
mean, Jeff
Okay,
Keighley
so they
Award.
Yeah.
I am not sure if they're gonna nominate her because
hmm.
um, the Hogwarts Legacy treatment. We're gonna see.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. As of right now, if I was thinking VGAs, what do I think we get for Game of the Year? What do I think will be up there? Right now, I'm not even sure if Rebirth would be up there. There are a lot of games that came out this year.
Yeah,
We didn't.
even Stellar Blade is
Yeah.
up there. In my
I don't
opinion.
think I don't think Stellar Blade will be. What were the highest rated games this year?
Well,
That's a lot.
actually, this is the first time of the year where a lot of people are going against journalists' opinions. So it's
Astrobot is
Well,
one
the
of
thing
the
is, will
highest.
Keeley go against journalists' opinions because it's a collection of journalists and industry people that decide what gets nominated for Game of the Year. So that's kind of
Game of the Year frontrunners, Astrobot.
Yeah.
Metaphor's on there. Okay, Metaphor's on
I
there.
think Metaphor will be there because of recency.
Final Fantasy
Astrobot
VII
and
Rebirth.
Metaphor.
For some reason, I get the
Rebirth-
feeling, Final Fantasy is my game, but for some reason, I get the feeling it just won't be in the.
Actually, that might
Balatron?
actually win it.
Silent Hill 2.
I don't think
Dragon
Sil-
Age the Veil.
don't
How did
think-
Dragon Age of Velgar got on there?
I don't think Silent Hill.
mean-
I don't think Silent Hill will be up there. I don't know. Maybe I'm just pessimistic this year.
It reviewed well, I think.
I'm about to say, like, the game just came out like not too long ago. We didn't even get that far into the game. That's
I
just
do think Metaphor will be there. A lot of people are saying Black Ops 6, but I can't remember. I don't remember a game like
that's
I
gonna
don't
win
think that's gonna be
multiplayer.
up there. Yeah, I mean,
Animal Well actually might be up there.
huh?
Animal Well, it was a huge hit when it came out.
Yeah, indie.
so
They usually have at least one indie up there, so yeah, probably.
yeah. So yeah, there's actually nothing's been confirmed yet. So
Yeah.
oh well, for what's nominated for what. So these are just people making predictions. But yeah, I'm curious. We'll be curious to see. But the problem is that you notice that Wukong got snuffed from it, which I was like, damn, that kind of fucked up because Wukong actually is a good game. That was one of the better games, and it got no award, or it's not getting no nominees. Like, damn.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I
Oh,
love
you know what I think might be a sleeper for a game of the year nominee. Not that I'm saying I think it'll get the award, but I think it might get nominated. Is that damn college football game.
Oh, college football 2024
2025. I think that might
or
get
2025.
I think that might be a sleeper to get nominated because it was like
Best
damn,
sports game.
it was
Yeah,
damn-
everyone said it was.
no, like it was like basically like historic, like how well it sold and how many consoles it moved so many people to PS5 and Xbox Series that I think it might actually get
Oh yeah, I
nominated.
moved people to not gen. I remember.
Yeah, so
Um,
because of that, because of its
I
impact,
mean-
I think it might get nominated. Even though I know it won't win it, I can see it getting nominated based off its impact. Now,
I'm really excited to see if Animal Well is gonna be, up there because I platinumed the game and I love it.
how many games usually make it for Game of the Year? It's like 5 games.
I think it was like 6 games.
yeah,
I think 2023
no,
had like
sometimes
6.
it's 8 or 9 even.
No,
Like-
the game that makes it the final whatever is usually like 5
The
or
game of the
6.
year nominees were like I think it was like 6 or 7 or 8 because it usually has a long shows all the gameplay and stuff with the
It's
dramatic
it's six-
music.
It's 6
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so-
between the
Oh,
6
hey, Zero.
and 8.
I'm here.
Yeah, Zero, how
Hey.
you been? What you been playing, man?
But again, for the people that called this year dry,
I don't think it was
I
a
have
dry
no-
year. I just think it was a lot of good games and like the spacing of it. Like I could see a game like Final Fantasy Rebirth that came out very early in the year, kind of being like snubbed due to recency bias. That's
remember, Yakuza also came out like this year. Turn-based alone is a crazy fest.
Yeah, so I can see
That's
I can
just-
see I can see Black Myth making it. Dragon's Dogma 2 is another one.
Which congratulations to them, sold 3.3 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. One thing for sure, it's going to be a fun showcase, in my opinion.
So
It will be. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Me too.
Ah,
Cause I
oh,
want to see where Astrobot is gonna
And then you
fare.
got that new Mario game that came out. That's gonna.
the Mario Brothers. Apparently, the reviewers are reviewing it bad, but the player base is saying the game is great. So there's been conflict on that as well. I'm like, why are these reviews
Yeah, so
saying the game is not that
a
great?
Nintendo game got to make it.
It'll more likely be Wisdom of Echoes than Brothership.
No, remember there is also you
Oh,
call
Prince
it
of
the
Persia.
I don't think Prince of
the
Persia
Zelda
makes it. Do
game.
you?
Oh, I forgot all about Prince of Persia. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad game, but
I didn't forget about it, but with the way the studio got treated, I don't think it's gonna get
I think it
anything.
was a strong year of games, and I do think some of the games that were really great in the early part of the year may get a little bit of may get snubbed a bit due to recency bias.
Forgotten.
Yeah, I get that feeling.
uh,
I mean, it's going to be interesting what's gonna happen with Rebirth. Cause to me, Rebirth didn't hit.
Rebirth is my
So
game of
uh,
the year. Y'all know how I feel about Final Fantasy 7.
yeah,
But
yeah.
mine
a
between
lot
Hey, we
of
got
Master and Astrobot. But yeah, let's jump to Zero.
Zero
He
needs
joined
his
us.
intro.
yeah, Zero
Hey
still got an
Zero,
intro.
I got
But
controllers that I did a review on, by
we
the
got to
way.
stall because CPT time, and
Check them
Hey,
out.
man, I was
See,
setting up.
we don't know who else
Ooh.
may or may not be showing up.
GameCube
Man.
controllers.
that works for PC, Nintendo Switch, and the Nintendo Wii and GameCube. It actually has a Wii mode, so it's actually a legit Wii controller as well. So, yeah.
Nice. And a classic GameCube orange too. That was one of the better controller colors.
Yep.
But I've been doing good. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I've been diving into Metaphor. I
Nice.
finished Far Cry 5. So
Okay.
Oh, why'd you like the story?
oh, I loved it. It absolutely wonderful. So far, definitely my favorite Far Cry. I've played 1, 2, 3, and 5. I don't know
He
why I
is
skipped 4 for some
legendary.
reason.
1, 2,
Um,
3, and 5. So you skipped 4.
I don't know why I skipped 4. I think because I was really excited to play 5, so I just went to 5.
Okay.
Because the first one I played was 3, and then I went back to 1 and 2. And so I actually should be completely honest with you, I might do 6 and then go to 4.
Okay.
6 was okay. It was decent. They had some good actors, but it was like meh.
I didn't even know there was a 6. I thought 5 was the last one that came out.
Nah, six
Nah,
is
there
the
was a
one with
6.
that.
That's
What's the name of the actor?
Juan Carlo Esposito.
Yes.
I thought Juan Carlos Esposito was in 5. I just
Nah,
don't.
Nah, he's in 6.
I don't.
Yeah.
Keep
He's in
up,
6.
I don't keep up
Five
with the
is the-
numbers. I'm not keeping up with the numbers in the Far Cry series. I just know it's been a lot of.
Usually it's the
Five
villains.
is either Chinese one or Vietnamese. I'm not sure which country it is.
I think he's Vietnamese. No,
Yeah,
that's
I
4,
think
4 is Vietnamese. Joseph Seed is straight at Heartland America. That's
America.
5.
Oh yeah, no, five is the American one. Yeah.
Yeah,
4 I think is Vietnam or some.
Four is the Vietnamese. Yeah, you're correct.
I think it's
the last Far Cry I remember people going crazy for was what, Far Cry 3?
So it have two. It have 3, and also the Blood and Truth, or I forgot what's called, because that Far Cry did great and sold well, if I remember correctly. But people enjoyed 4, and they hated 5 because, America and guns and stuff like that.
I love 5. Favorite one of them all. But finish that. Metaphor, having a really good time with it.
How far are you?
I am on my way to do my first, I guess we would call it trial for the throne. So
Yeah, me and you are in the same area. We're
I
the
just
same.
got out of the worm, and I was like, that was
I love that.
Are you talking about
I love
Metaphor?
that.
yeah,
Yeah, Metaphor.
I'm not that far yet, so don't tell me.
yeah. Well, yeah, I won't say anything. Yeah.
For a game that's so serious to have that war moment. I just love Metaphor so much.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I really like I like the world that they've built. Particularly because everything feels like almost like a storybook. And so I am sure they're gonna lean a bit more into that later. It's still very much Persona. Like I've got my days, and my stuff that I got to do within those days. But I like it. Like the characters, the concept, the main plot so far of the game, I actually think is really cool. So it remains to be seen how further it goes. Hopefully they stick the landing, but I'm enjoying it. Go ahead.
I'm hoping that the two worlds exist.
Same.
That's what I'm.
And I'm interested to know if which one is, I guess, quote unquote, the real world,
Yeah,
and which one is like the creation, or
I
do they
think
just exist in separate things?
I think in my opinion, or my guess is that I think the fictional world is like influencing the real world. So as someone's writing the fiction, it eventually becomes reality. So that's just my opinion from what I played so far.
My
I'm gonna check
perception,
this one out.
my way too early perception is that both worlds are real, but they're connected through the book.
That can work.
So I'm interested. Still, of course, shooting people in Call of Duty, have an absolute blast. Nuketown is back, so definitely ran Nuketown a bunch. Good. I'm happy to be back in Call of Duty. And enjoying it. It's the best one I've played in quite some time, and it feels like, funny enough, the last time I played a Call of Duty as heavy was when the original Modern Warfare dropped, and because I was tired of a game made by Bungie, and it was like, I need something different. Same thing around this time. The first time it was Halo. The second time it's Destiny 2. I'm just like, I'm tired of Destiny. I don't really want to play it anymore unless somebody needs me for a raid or a dungeon run. So that's it.
I don't got the balls to do the multiplayer stuff, but I am loving the campaign. Pretty good.
I'm gonna get into it one day. It will probably be a while, but I will get into it.
I did the first 2 missions so far, so hey, I'm not in a rush.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get teabagged by y'all on multiplayer.
I don't even think we're allowed to anymore.
I don't want to look on Twitter and see my gamer tag getting just demolished on someone's viral clip.
I was happy, with omnidirectional movement, like a dude. I've seen somebody literally 360 no scope somebody, and you see their body spin around, and then you just die. Like, whoa.
Yeah, that's it. That Omni move is crazy.
It's
definitely. It's actually coming to Warzone. It's actually coming to Warzone on November 14th.
Yeah,
it's the last time I don't play Warzone. It feels too much. Like, I like a slimmed down battle royale. Apex is where my sweet spot, because even at this point, Fortnite feels a little bit too much.
Well, Warzone is just free to play, so people love that.
Oh yeah, it's good. What I played of it is good, but like, there's the whole gulag thing, and because I don't play Call of Duty enough, when I tried to get into Warzone, I was like, what gun is this? What does this do? What are these packs? I gotta reload armor. I was like, what? I couldn't figure it out, and I was like, I don't want to figure it out, so I'm done. So I went back to Apex. But the only other 2 things I've been playing, speaking of game of the year, my personal game of the year, Balatro, the roguelike card poker game, has been released on mobile. And so I picked it up on mobile, getting absolutely no work done now, because I can take it on the go with me. Once again, I have to just say this game is excellent. Y'all should play it. It's the easiest thing to get into, and poker isn't particularly a hard thing to learn.
Yeah.
And really all you gotta do is learn the hands. That's all that actually matters. Everything else is not necessarily poker at all. But of course, I'm sure I'm probably not the only one. It's gone now, but for parts of last week, nothing but Monster Hunter Wilds, which is excellent.
Now, you played it on console, right? You didn't play it on.
Played it on console.
How was your experience?
You ain't getting that 60 FPS. Yeah, I know
not
that.
Getting that 60 FPS. That's okay. That's all right. My experience is good. There's definitely some things I hope that they address when the full game comes out. I forgot the term I saw somebody use for it, but effectively the weapons don't feel like they're hitting the monster properly. Everything feels like a hot knife through butter, which it shouldn't. There should be some level of I guess maybe like a tactile hit, like Nappy, you play, so like, it's a difference between
Yeah, no, like
hit
when you hit like a hard point, your blade can bounce off or something, or I
not
know
even
what you're
bouncing
saying.
off, just sort of like if you do a full charge greatsword, and like after you hit that last flip over, it's sort of like hit. Where currently it just felt like I just went straight through him. I was like, this
Oh,
feels weird, and it's just the beta, so there could be time to put that in later.
they said they already did a shit ton of fixes. They said that beta was just literally like a raw version of the game with no optimization whatsoever.
So
Like Capcom already straight up said, like, "Oh yeah, we already got an optimized version. We just gave y'all this version because they were just curious to see what happens."
yeah. So that's my biggest complaint. It's not the worst thing. I can certainly live without it, but it was noticeable. Otherwise, absolutely love it, man. All the mechanics and changes to the weapons are great. That you can carry 2 weapons now is excellent. Like build crafting is just going to be insane in this game because like now it's just I don't build just for my hunting horn. Maybe I build for my hunting horn and my hammer. Maybe I build for my hunting horn and my sword and shield, all at the same time. I cannot wait to get into it. The monsters are interesting and cool.
Cool. Question. Wait, the last thing we had to bring up is how's the cooking?
Oh, excellent. I mean, the looks. I didn't play it on, 60 FPS. I didn't get full fidelity cooking like you will. But when that full fidelity cooking come, it's excellent.
This one's the foods you pick actually show. So if you pick fish, you'll see fish on the grill.
Yes.
If you pick seasoning, you're gonna get seasoning. If you pick honey, you're gonna watch them as they pour the honey over top of it. I'm just like, oh, they went into detail with the cooking on this one. Like dope. you actually see your main, you see the vegetables, and you see a seasoning or a honey, and it's like so many different combinations. And I'm like, for the beta, we saw like there was like 3 different foods, 3 different veggies, and 3 different seasonings, so you can have a total of 9 different combinations. But I find that really cool how you could just like combine and actually see what you're eating, and it does look good.
It just does a lot of nice quality of life improvements that just make it better. Like traveling is easier now because you've got the little bird companion, Screet, I think is what they're called. Similar to how it was in Rise, I believe. It just feels easier to manage and navigate, even more so than World, because World did a gang of quality of life improvements, and Wilds is just improving on that. So February 28th, I cannot wait. It will probably be all I'll be playing for a good portion of that year.
Same. Oh, question. Did you freak out when your Palico talked to you for the first time in English?
I put mine in Japanese, and I think I didn't. I missed it. Like I saw him speak, and it didn't register me that it was him speaking. And I was like, speaking to me right now.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the first one where the Palicos can actually speak to you.
Yeah,
that shit freaked me out. I turned that shit right off. I made him go. So apparently, there's a way you can have it where your Palico can actually like speak English, or you can make it speak his own native language. And I was like, I don't want this damn cat talking to me.
Yeah,
I don't want the meows.
Yeah. So like I can't wait, man. But outside of that's been it, man. I've just been head down in these games. I gotta get through Metaphor before February comes around.
I don't think
good luck with that.
You put like an hour.
Good luck with that. That game looks long as hell. I mean, you gotta stop what you're doing, and
Metaphor is definitely probably
Metaphor
an 80-hour game, and if you
easily,
if you want to like really dive in, it's probably like 120.
Yeah.
Yeah, Metaphor is mega long. I'm not gonna lie.
So, with that said, hell of a long intro. I'm guessing Jubei won't make it. We can dive into what's on your mind, and while we're doing that, let me go ahead and get me a timestamp. Gonna need it. I've been bluffing on the timestamps lately, and while we're here, I just want to acknowledge the chat. Ryu Art Gaming, thank you for coming through. He said that Nappy's gonna need a 5090 for that Monster Hunter Wilds. If
my 2070 can run it. If you have a 10 series, you're pretty much screwed.
So let's see. Let me get this timestamp. I've I've been bluffing on the timestamps lately. All right, and so yeah. If you're here, hit that like button, share this out. Even if you're not a part of the chat, say hi. Appreciate you guys coming through. But yeah, does anyone? This section might not be long. Does anyone have anything game related that is not a part of our topics that you want to talk about? Your chance to have a more of a say show in a direction. Going.
Only thing I had, we had learned more about the Pal World Nintendo lawsuit, which is
Yep.
just an amount, because they pretty much clarified that all of the.
This late
Look who jumped
motherfucker.
in.
All right. I'm gonna ask you to hold up for a second on that, Zero. We're gonna get this late motherfucker a chance to.
Hey, I
Yeah.
got listen. I got kids to feed and shit. You know what I mean? I had to do what I had to do. I don't want to hear nothing.
You gotta teach them to survive, man. You gotta survive.
Teach him to
My
survive.
1-year-old ain't gonna survive nothing. What you mean?
So but yeah, give us your intro, man. Tell us what you've been playing, how you been, man.
Yeah. Hey everybody. Hope y'all have been doing well. I know it's been a minute since we've convened and got to talk. Been playing Call of Duty and playing Metaphor. Been testing various games on the Pro.
Okay.
So
I
yeah.
want you guys to notice he's been ran off of that Sparkling Zero. He couldn't take them phase anymore.
I haven't. I couldn't tell you when the last time I launched that game is, and it's not for lack of trying. It's just, yeah. I'll get back to it. I need Zero to issue me a challenge though, and that ain't happening.
First of all, hold on.
What happened?
Everybody
with
calling
DBZ?
everybody out, but nobody out here fighting for real. Y'all here got
Zero-
Twitter
What
fingers.
happened to DBZ?
That's what we're
Me
talking
and
about.
Zero got DB beef since Fighters.
So I'll run back up. I just got. I honestly, like you, I haven't found time to play that game.
Exactly, bro. I'm like, because if I play that, I'm not gonna really be playing anything else, and that's why I'm trying to avoid.
Yeah, they turn to. I mean, everyone's playing COD and Metaphor.
Yeah, like I saw the player base dropped off a cliff. I mean, that should make at least online ranked a little bit more
You
serviceable.
talking
I
about
saw sweats.
you talking about on COD?
No,
for
for
DBZ.
Sparking Zero.
Oh, okay.
They lost
Sparking Zero's
90% of their damn player base, and then dropped off. I mean, once you finish story, if you really not about that life, it don't really matter. They got their money.
I mean, they got your $70.
Yeah, exactly. It's sold really well. It'll wash out, and then if they do DLC, which
yeah, that's typically how it works. Most people are not
we
about.
We gotta get the Daima stuff. Like, there's DLC coming, so like people that have finished the story with the characters they already have, like I said, if you're not sweating and ranked or like that, or they might just be getting dogged, because I've seen some shit. Like, it's tough out there. But
these multiplayer games, they run off the casual audience, bro. Like the
they
casual
do.
audience,
They
the
do.
casual audience is not
10%
trying to get on there
is hardcore.
and get smoked. That's what it is.
This 10% has a very specific haircut, and they probably must.
Yeah.
Damn.
Most of them are gonna do after images and bore you.
Yep. So like I'm not mad at it. Like it's part of fighting games, man. That the casuals that dabbled and couldn't keep up, they're gonna fall off.
Yeah.
And then as long as that hardcore base is still there, like I said, as long as it's not too sweaty, you'll be
all right. If more of your friends get the game, they need to like facilitate that. You can play 1v1 versus your friends a lot more, or like kind of like advertise that a little bit more, I guess. Because yeah, these people are not for these fighting game streets.
not for these fighting game streets. Yep. No, but like with games like this, these are the kind of games you call your homeboys over, and y'all order pizza and shit, and y'all just like sit there and throw hands. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really get that experience online.
Yeah.
I will say this: I'm mad about the maps though. You only got one map for local versus.
That's boo boo.
You got the time capsule team, but that's it.
You're lying.
I'm not
They only
lying.
have the hyperbolic time chamber for local. Get the fuck out of here.
Yes, I'm dead serious.
That is kind of
Ain't
crazy.
no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way. So I have to play online just to get other stages. That's garbage. That is not
Yes,
good.
Well, you know,
yes.
that is kind of garbage.
What
I mean,
fucking
technically, the
fighting game
hyperbolic
doesn't
time
have
chamber
stage
is the
play?
competitive map, but still.
What fighting game does not have selectable stages?
It does have selectable
So
stages.
what the
Head
fuck?
Online.
I know, but not in local. But like, well, that doesn't even make any sense to me.
Yeah, because trust me, me and my girlfriend, we were both playing Sparking Zero. And the first thing she was like, "Oh, I can't pick no maps." And I was like, "Wait, wow, where are the maps?" And then when you go online, you can see all the maps, and we're just like, "Oh,
Maybe a portion of the game is like cloud.
I mean, what?"
Like maybe all the maps aren't actually like on your physical disc. I don't know. I'm just like, because it doesn't make sense. Like,
No, it doesn't make sense, but it is a thing. It's something we point out. I was
that's
just
what I'm
like,
saying. That's
the hyperbolic time chamber. I don't
that's what
like.
I'm
You could have
saying.
gave
Maybe-
us.
That's what I'm saying. If you can't do it, maybe the
I'm trying to throw down on the lookout. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just saying.
Nah,
maybe,
you ain't no lookout.
nah, fuck that.
Gotta be
You know,
online
I'm
for
about to
that.
load this shit up right now. I need to know.
I'm telling you, the maps might be like cloud based or something like that, in the sense that maybe
Jubei's about to get
like,
pissed.
you know, like how you. I know I haven't done a lot of Sparkling Zero yet. Like my kids have played it more than me, but you know, like how in fighters you could like knock people into other parts of the map and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
of course.
Maybe some parts of that is not necessarily like
Well, I mean,
localized.
you're not
That's what
gonna
I'm saying.
knock them into other parts of the map. You're just gonna blow the map up,
But
and then
but I'm
it's gonna look
saying
different.
some of that may not be localized. Is what I'm saying. So it might be like you got to be on the internet to get some of that stuff because it's not actually.
Well, we gonna find out. I got a
this-
5 gig update. I don't know why, but
Oh damn! Maybe they updated it out. Maybe they patched in the other levels.
I did.
Yeah.
I did get to check out the third person firefight for Halo, which was yeah.
Oh, third person.
That's how it needs to be.
Third person is out for Halo.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. I might.
It's only in firefight though. It's not in like regular multiplayer. It's only in firefight.
I'll give that a try.
If the numbers go up for it enough, it's gonna be in every mode.
It needs to be in every mode, but like for firefight, it just feels right. Like it's that's the arcadey mode. Like it just feels right for that for sure.
I mean, I think games have gotten to a point where you shouldn't have to be locked into a certain camera angle.
Right. You do need to try the Helldivers mode that they put in Infinite also. Like it's Forge. You have to like go to you have to search for it, but it is good.
Okay.
Community. Someone built a Helldivers mode.
Well,
somebody built an entire they built the whole mode. You end up on a ship and it like literally launches you down and all that shit. Like it's cool. It's cool as fuck.
I thought 343 did it themselves.
Nope. No, they did not. This is somebody messing around in Forge.
Okay. Cool.
And you search for hell jumpers, like you go to like their browser thing to search for hell jumpers. You'll find it. You have to get the map and the mode, and then you can load it up. You just have to go into a custom game. Right. But it's 4-player co-op, so you can get 3 of your buddies. I mean, it's still firefight. You know what I mean? Like that's what we're looking at. But like they have it kind of expanded out like across one of those big team maps.
Okay.
And there's like different like objectives and shit. Like I'm like, surprisingly, somebody did this in Forge. I'm like, 343. I need y'all to get on this and make it official. So, yeah.
Well,
good shit.
Jubei's intro. Zero. Before you were so rudely interrupted, what were you talking?
Damn.
It's that. Oh, I'll have to bring this up next week. I missed the Nintendo Direct about Super Nintendo World. No, what I'm saying, we found the amount of what the lawsuit is for Pal World versus Nintendo.
It was like pennies, right?
As far as I would imagine, both companies are concerned. Yes, which I believe the number is about 66,000 US. So not a whole lot of money. 10 million yen, $65,000 US. So it's a pretty small number here. I don't know what this means or what this does for the lawsuit going forward. Definitely feels like a case of like, oh, Nintendo's being extra petty on this one.
Yeah.
I don't think they're being extra petty. They might be trying to set a precedent
I
for,
think
for future litigation.
Nah,
I think
some
both are one
like
and
I
the-
said,
I think both
it's
are
a
one and the
slippery
same.
slope. It's a
Yeah.
slippery slope. We shouldn't be doing this. We should definitely not be
Oh,
doing this.
I agree.
It
You know,
definitely
I
is a
think,
slippery slope on
I
this.
think it's about time we start being more critical of Nintendo and their practices. But you know, it's like as long as they give me my games, I don't care. But you know,
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
fair
people
enough,
that are
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
not
yeah.
give a shit. But
yeah,
Like,
but
bro,
people-
they just dropped Donkey Kong Country for Super Nintendo World. Like, how could I not go to that?
Hmm.
So we'll see how it results. I hopefully again for $65,000, Pal World can make the changes it needs to make and continue doing what it's doing. Because no one's here, I don't think, for Pal World very specifically because of its monster catching mechanic.
nope.
So if you just change the mechanic, if that's what they're saying you took from us, I think Pal World would still be pretty fine.
yeah.
I mean, they're fine now. They'll.
Exactly.
I mean, saying now Sony invested into them as well. Like, Nintendo's pissed about that.
I never thought the ball catching mechanic was unique to exclusively
It's not.
Pokemon.
It is.
If you
They're
think
trying to say
about
it
it,
is.
yeah,
It's
they're trying to
not.
say it is, and they said they patented it. But I guess if you just look at the gaming world as a whole, what other capture thing does
Even
just like
Temtem
Pokemon?
uses tablets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that Temtem is more like Monster Rancher than anything with its summoning mechanic.
Yeah, but
I
So-
mean, the Shin Megami series like has the sort of maybe collection or
I
like
was-
talking to Digimon doesn't do it. Like
I was thinking they're gonna go after the monster design.
But I'm just saying, like, I
They
just
No,
can't.
they ain't
It's-
even doing a monster design. They're going after the mechanics more so than the monster designs.
I just think about like different animes and all this other stuff. I can't imagine that Pokemon is the only show that, or the only game that uses a ball catch an animal.
I've seen
that's-
balls. We seen cubes. We
Yeah.
seen.
But
Actually, did
but
you-
that's my thing. When you think about from just a video game, it's just a video game patent. What other catch? I can't think of one. I play a couple of these catcher games that involve a ball, and not for nothing, but like the Pal World ball looks an awful lot like an actual Pokeball.
Look, we all can agree that Power World is a ripoff of Pokemon with basically with guns and stuff and survival mechanics. Like no,
It's a ripoff of Ark Survivor more than Pokemon.
Well, just the style and how it looks. It looks a lot like a Pokemon game. Like we can all admit that.
Yeah, which I think that, and we talked about before, like that's the point, right? Like that's how you get people in. Like, hey guys, it's Pokemon, but not exactly. So I get why they would use the ball, but you theoretically didn't have to use the ball, and they probably would have avoided a good portion of these problems.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think the ball is that significant. No.
Yeah,
The capturing.
Yeah, it
the
remains to
riding
be
monster.
seen. Yeah, and how the riding monster portion as well.
I would consider if they emulated the Pokedex, I would consider that to be more of a violation than the ball.
Yeah, like there's like no like. Did they say they had art assets that they were trying to talk about?
They didn't go after art assets. They went strictly over mechanics. Just the capturing, the percentage of you capturing the Pokemon, and also the ride. They show patterns of riding
See, you
the
didn't even call them
monster.
pals. You call them fucking Pokemon. You see that?
You did. No, but they're really going after the RNG method. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah,
That's what they're going after. They're not going after the art.
Then you know what? All they need to do is make one ball 100% catch rate. Like fuck it.
What they need to do, and as far as I can tell, the percentage portion is just don't even show it or show it in a different way.
Well, if you make a ball that's 100% catch rate, that's just a master ball. So you're still not.
But if you
better yet, just make the ball change colors as you catch it, so it goes from like blue to green to red, as in it's sealed.
Yeah, so the colors themselves represent like here's how like we're playing metaphor, right? And so you can tell when an enemy's really weak and they're blue, when they're kind of medium they're yellow, and then they're really hard, they're red. or white for unknown. Whereas you can't just be like, oh, you've got a 34% chance of catching this POW in this ball. It's like, no, don't do that. Maybe make a color or do something else with it to sort of really just get away from the patent. I'm not saying even distinguish yourself, just like fit within whatever weird rules that they want you to do.
Well, like the patent's only sticking in Japan right now. It's not even across the world yet.
Of course,
So-
yeah, and who knows? Again, nobody knows how this is going to turn up. Because I don't know Japanese patent law. I barely know American patent law.
I get a
So-
I get a public defender and fight it. Fuck it, it's only $60,000.
So, well,
They make
it's not about the money; it's the principle.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I get a public defender and fight it. I don't care. I'll make Nintendo waste their money.
great opportunity for Phoenix Wright to come and protect the Power World Company.
Hey, Sony's backing it. Sony's like, hey, they up here about to get a whole TV show. They're getting a mobile port.
I'll send Chat GPT to represent me in court.
So yeah, Nintendo's just being extra petty.
Yeah.
Instead of making a good Pokemon game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're being petty, and I'm like, I would fight it, but I wouldn't waste a ton of money fighting it. Is what I'm saying. I wouldn't get like the best lawyer money could buy over $60,000. Kind of the point I'm. But anybody else have anything besides Nintendo being dickheads?
I got one small thing. Warzone Mobile is increasing its spec requirements, and they have delisted 4,000 different Android devices that can run it, and pretty much every single iPhone except for the 15 and up. So pretty much after November 14th, if you don't have, what was it? For Android, you have to run at least Android 13, and there's like a couple of different Snapdragon chips that are capable of running it. And then for iOS, you just have to have an iOS iPhone 15. If you don't meet those requirements, you can no longer play Warzone Mobile after the 14th. Well, actually, no, I take that back. After November 14th, you won't be able to download it no more. So they will keep the other original version of Warzone Mobile lasting for another 6 months after November 14th. But after that, they're closing them servers down. November 14th, Warzone Mobile is going to get the Omni Movement update. So if you like the Omni Movement in Black Ops 6 and you play Warzone on mobile, you're going to get the Omni Movement there as well. And then plus all the weapons and stuff is about to come together into one giant thing. So sucks for people that don't have the latest and greatest phones, but yeah, they just can't optimize that thing.
But as
they tried,
being that mobile gaming is so popular, and as of late, people are not as willing to upgrade their phones like every year like they used to. I know people still do, but I don't think it's nearly as much as it used to be. I think you use games to do it now. Like, well, this game won't work anymore unless you upgrade your phone. I think that's kind of what we're getting to.
I don't think it's going to be that much of a push because the player base for Warzone Mobile has already dropped a lot because of how optimized the game is, and there's other FPS free to play games on mobile.
I'm not saying
that can compete with Warzone Mobile.
Well, Warzone Mobile isn't the most popular. I'm just saying, like, if you go like everyone loves Genshin Impact or Candy Crush or something like that. Like, if your phone ages out, you've had it for like 7 years, and it's like, oh no, it's time to get a new one because Candy Crush and Genshin Impact won't work here anymore. Those are the type of things that'll push people over, I think, getting advice.
Yeah, we will see. We got to 3 more days left until Warzone Mobile gets that Omni Movement update, and all the other devices get shut out. They literally actually put a list out. It was like 4,000 different devices. I was like, damn, they ain't had to do all that, but damn.
Upgrading your phone isn't necessarily too expensive. It's like extra $20 on your cell phone bill. But most people just are like, this phone works. Not
with 3 or 3 or 4 year contract.
Yeah, most people don't care about that though. They don't plan on. Most people don't switch carriers as often as we would like. And then even if you do, they have the buyout thing now. Like, it's not what it used to be. So, so I think that's everything regarding to what's on your mind. Someone else has something they want to bring up, but if not, I want to thank everyone who made it this far because we are about to dive into topic number 1, as soon
Oh,
as what's up?
is the pro a topic or no?
That is our final topic of today. Yes. We will
Okay.
talk about the
Okay.
pro.
Cool.
But with that said, let me throw this timestamp down so we can jump into topic number 1 of the day. That'll be dun, da, da, da. Boom. Sony's earnings release. So let me go ahead and get this tweet up that we had in the chat so we can kind of get talking about it. But it seems like they put a very positive spin on it, and everything is looking on the up and up. Hardware 3.8 million units sold, lifetime sales they're at 65 and a half. Game units is up, software units is up, digital downloads up, everything's up. Monthly active users are up, which I'm sure is part of the whole PSN PC thing. You cowards over there on PC bent the knee. But yeah, everything is looking good at Sony. But along with that, we've also seen that Astrobot has only sold 1.5 million units. I didn't see anything regarding Until Dawn or the what is it? The Horizon remastered. So I'm guessing those didn't quite make the cutoff for this earning statement, and I think they probably. And I think
I'm about to say the Horizon Zero Dawn update. Basically, if you already own the previous game, you automatically get the remaster version.
No, you got to pay $10.
No, not for PC.
No, we're talking about the console people. We don't care about the PC peasants over there. Okay.
Okay, that's nice.
The console people have to pay a $10 upgrade path if they want the new shiny features of Horizon Zero Dawn. You lucky bastards, y'all just download a damn mod if they don't do it for free. So, you know how that goes. But yeah, so everything looks pretty good. Outside of the Astro numbers, I do think part of this, the numbers do look good and the profits are up, but I think a lot of this is due to a lot of the shed that we've seen in the industry. I think a lot of these corporations have been cutting jobs so that their earning statements look better. But at least it looks good on paper. I'm not I don't believe these numbers are as great as they look for any company at the moment. Currently, even Square is up a lot, but these companies have been cutting a lot over the past while. But yeah, let's get into it. See, Omar, when you saw this, kind of what was your reaction? What was your reaction to Astrobot launching to 1.5 million in sales, and everything else you heard as a result of its earning?
Okay, so real talk, I didn't focus on the earning.
Okay, what did you focus on?
I focused on Astrobot sales, which is, in my opinion, great. I focused on Ghost of Tsushima continue selling. I focused, and this is the biggest keynote for me. Apparently, they're learning from Concord, so we're gonna wait and see. If
They're learning in what aspect?
In aspect, apparently they're gonna do way more. They're gonna be way more involved. Quality control, what we always talk about.
They were ultra involved with Concord, though.
The thing is, Concord wasn't a quality issue.
They banked everything on Concord being the next big thing. It wasn't a lack of involvement issue or quality control issue. They literally staked the future of PlayStation into Concord. They thought it was going to be that big. It has a show coming out next month. It's going to be in that Amazon thing. They put a lot into that game. It wasn't for lack of trying.
And I'm curious to see where they're gonna go with that. I'm genuinely curious to see where they're gonna go with that. Cause I've always said what my thoughts on their whole stuff with live service. I'm not a fan of it, and I think Concord is a wake up call to them.
Okay, so this
I
thing.
I think the second cause here's the thing, they could have easily said, okay, we're gonna go not kill Concord but make it free to play. Instead, they flat out killed it. And yeah, as I said, I never touched Concord, so I can't comment about the game. But I will say it speaks absolutely volume for PlayStation to break the record. I think they broke a record into fastest way killing a live service game.
Oh yeah, 12 days. That's definitely a record
Yeah, that's
for
what
a
I'm
trip
talking about.
for a AAA live service game to
What's
only last
crazy? What's
only last 12
crazy?
days.
Crossfire X being absolute garbage lasted longer than Concord, which is fucking crazy.
Well, I don't. All right, so I don't think
No,
I
Crossfire X is bad.
no, I'm not arguing that. I just don't think Sony was willing to take the embarrassment of their product not succeeding off the rip, and they weren't willing to do the work and listen to the community in a way to make that game better and bring more players. Because I mean, you could have done free weekend. Um, there's a lot of things you could have done to kind of get Concord up to speed, and maybe you know by the time that show drops in December, if it's really good with the Concord content, maybe around holiday you do have 10,000 people playing the game, which isn't great, but it's progress. And if it's something that you really believe in and you have a long-term vision for the game, um I think it's something that they should have at least stuck with. I mean, you paid for at least a month of servers for that game. For you to kill it in only 12 days, you are like it's not going to get your money back. So that I think they should have gave the game at least, you know, one good cycle, a good quarter to kind of see where it could get to. They didn't even give it 3 months. Give it 12 days. Crazy.
Here's the thing about that. If they kept it running, and still didn't do well, it's gonna cost them money. So they went with the quick approach.
Well, the thing is you already took a risk and you already invested a lot of money into purchasing the studio, um doubled on the investment of the game to get it out faster. You, you gotta try to make the money work. You can't just you know take sunk costs like that over and over again. First it's factions, then it's the Great Web, then it's this. Like there's only so much sunk cost you can take, and they can fluff up their earnings report all they want, but if you keep taking sunk costs like that, eventually you can't hide that in your earnings anymore. There's only so many studios you can close. There's only so many people you can lay off. Like that can't be the thing. It just can't.
Hey, we're gonna wait and see where that's gonna take them.
I mean,
I'm
we're already
genuinely
seeing
gonna.
where it's taken them. They've closed what 4 studios or 6 studios in the past 4 years. Yeah, like 6 studios in the past 4 years. Like we've already seen where it's taken them. It's not in a oh so bright direction. They're kind of going the same way that Square Enix went, where Square Enix had to let go of the whole Western division. So, I mean,
Mm.
we definitely need to see better over there. I'll say that much.
I'm gonna be on the lookout for this one because this one is an eye opener for me because they at least acknowledge that they fucked up with Concord, and that's what I wanted to see. I wanted them to be aware of what's happening and not sweep it under the rug.
Yeah,
And he did that.
okay.
And the next, what you call it? I think the next the next focus point is going to be Fair Game and that game from Bungie.
Yeah, Fair Games and Marathon are the next two that
Marathon.
we know about. And then
Yeah.
there's also the rumored Horizon MMO.
Yeah, which apparently is being made by NetSeed.
But
But I apparently Horizon MMO is Horizon going to be PvP. If that's the case, dead on arrival, in my opinion. But not sure about that. I need to do some research about that. But so far, I'm happy. Like from PlayStation standpoint, from game standpoint, especially with how he said that one, they haven't revealed their biggest game yet. So if if God of Yote is not your biggest, then what is your biggest? I'm looking forward to that.
okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's get Zero's take on this. Zero saw these earnings and things like this on the Twitter sphere, probably more so than I did. What were your thoughts on everything with what came out of the earnings, along with Astrobot finding out that Astrobot only sold 1.5 million?
Yeah, I mean, I think from an earnings perspective, for any company, I'm going to take their word for it because I'm not terribly invested in trying to read between the lines. So if numbers are up, I assume that has to be good for them. So good around. PS5 seems to be doing well. So some of their games are doing well. I saw also lack of Until Dawn as well, but Until Dawn was never. I think most people agree Until Dawn remake is worse than the original.
Yes.
It's an unnecessary remake.
It's worse than the original, and I guess for some reason, because they still want people to buy it on the PlayStation 4, you can still buy the original Until Dawn. You don't have to buy the remake. There's also another issue,
which is silly. Why not just re-release Until Dawn? Whatever, it's fine. Go play Until Dawn, the original one. It's an excellent game. Still holds up to this day.
Yes, very much so.
I am not as down on Astrobot as others are. I understand from a large scale numbers thing about how many people actually own PlayStations and how many games did this sell. But for me, the reason why I'm not like that is because if we keep pushing down that path, then we just keep running into the situation where we are now, where companies only see, did you make Mario numbers? Did you make Destiny numbers? Did you make Call of Duty numbers? If you don't make those numbers, we don't want nothing to do with you anymore. And Astrobot is a fun little game that we should see more of later down the line. And so I don't know how much money this game costs to make, but like if that 1.5 million is good for them or good enough for them, I'm happy.
I was looking up the budget, and I guess Christopher Dring. I don't know how reliable he is on the matter, but I do know he works in the gaming industry. I guess he estimated it to be about 69 million total development costs. So 1.5 like kind of barely gets you in the black, I would think.
And for me, as long as you're happy with just barely getting to the black, I'm perfectly fine.
I don't think Sony's happy with barely getting to the black because they didn't.
I mean, nobody is.
They didn't announce the sales. They didn't announce the sales until the earnings report. We know how Sony is when they're excited about a game.
I'm saying, but nobody is. It's not just a Sony thing, because otherwise we'd be seeing more of Hi-Fi Rush, like, which
Yeah,
is
or
ridiculous. It's ridiculous that like all of a sudden Hi-Fi Rush is gonna go away. It's one
it's
of the
not going
best
away.
games when
We're
it
getting
released.
a Hi-Fi Rush 2, but it's just a different company is making it now. But Hi-Fi Rush 2 is coming, so yeah, we are getting one.
Yeah,
Um,
my point is, so long as so long as we're still in the world where companies aren't as happy with just making it, then we're never going to continue to get games like Hi-Fi Rush or Astrobot. And it's going
yeah,
to be left into the realm of indie in the PC space to make it.
I don't
And I just don't think that's necessary.
I don't disagree with you, but I guess the issue that I'm seeing, and it's not just with Astrobot, it's just with um PlayStation first party in general. Because Astrobot is a really good game. Um, I think the issue I'm seeing with PlayStation first party is just they are not able to capture and communicate to the audience that that game would sell best to, because these games aren't, you know, they haven't had a game that's done like blockbuster numbers since, Spider-Man 2 that came out last year. Um, Rise of the Ronin, Konami came out. That was Sony paid for that to be first party. They said that game didn't sell well. We saw Stellar Blade, for all the hype, it only got around like 2 million. So that's not a crazy blockbuster success. Astrobot 1.5, Concord. It's not a matter of whether or not these games are good or bad at this point. At least on the Sony side, it's more so like you gotta reach we gotta see Sony start reaching these audiences that really care about these type of games. Because I don't think I think a game like Stellar Blade should have done better. Me personally. I think a game like Rise of the Ronin, I think it could have done a little bit better. But I think some of the graphical fidelity issues kind of hurt it. But I do think Rise of the Ronin is actually a pretty good game. In some aspects. And we all know Astrobot's a good game. They released some more content for it. I think what was it, last month? Right after their PS show. Like a couple weeks later they released more content for it. So I mean, it's a cool little platformer, and we need good platformers. Um, we don't get a lot of them. Not as much as we used to back in the old days. But it's just like me personally, I just want to see Sony like really kind of find their audience with some of these games, because they haven't really been doing so, whether it be Concord or Astrobot or Stellar Blade or Rise of the Ronin.
I mean, but I think some of that is always the goal, but finding your audience is, as easy as catching sunlight sometimes. Like, you can put out a thing that your audience says exactly what they want, and then they won't buy it anyway. So like it's hard to say
See that, and that's
define the audience for Astrobot,
I don't
where it's
disagree.
like,
I don't disagree with you. See, I think I think the audience that PlayStation currently has is the God of War, Ghost, Horizon audience. And I think that audience wants a specific type of game, and when that game doesn't hit, or that game doesn't come out, the other games don't really get supported. I think that Sony needs to work on growing their audience, their first party audience more. They have a lot of people who own PlayStation 5 but don't really, you know, care about PlayStation first party games. So I think they need to find a way
Okay.
to kind of find those people who are PlayStation 5 owners and kind of find a way to get them to kind of care about the PlayStation 5 games, the PlayStation games that they make a little bit more.
imagine that they do. It's just I think even historically, like it's always been a very difficult position to be in. Uh, unless you're Nintendo, but they have at least over 30 years in the industry that's established that. And quite frankly, no one else even comes close to them.
I mean, I nobody comes close to PlayStation. I mean, not PlayStation, Nintendo. I will 100% agree with you there. They have like one of the highest attach rates out there. But we've seen Xbox do it. You know,
Okay.
like with like a Sea of Thieves. Like we've seen them grow, you know, an audience with that, or grow an audience with Forza Horizon. Like they make certain games that they're able to grow an audience with, and build a relationship with that audience, and then that audience wants to try out other games from Xbox first party. I want to start to see that more, you know, when a Dreams comes out, when an Astrobot comes out, like when some of these games that I guess more people would consider like niche or smaller, or a new IP comes out. I want more people to be like willing to try that. And
But
I
that's
know,
my thing. That's a person thing. Like I don't know how you make others like, you know, for as great as many people who have Xbox and played Sea of Thieves, there's many more of them who have absolutely no interest in that, or Pentiment, or even Hi-Fi Rush.
100%. I 100% agree with you. But the thing is, there are people that make a lot of money to figure out how to do it, and I would like to see them do it successfully.
I'm just not convinced they're not doing it. But I hear you.
Well, the sales are showing that they're not doing it.
But I think that's across the board. Like, I think only Nintendo's the only one you can look at and be like, these guys do it successfully. Everybody else is hit or miss. Because Pentiment isn't a big deal. Like, Hi-Fi Rush is the shining star. That's why Hi-Fi Rush stood out so much as it did. Because it's like the shining star.
Pentiment's like a single A game.
To me, it wouldn't matter, right?
But it's still a great game, though. That's the crazy thing. It's great.
I mean, like, because you got Sea of Thieves, but you also got Grounded, which is nowhere near the level of Sea of Thieves.
But Grounded is pretty successful, though.
But it's not. If it's not Sea of Thieves, and you want people to be like what Sea of Thieves is,
I'm not saying but I'm not saying every game has to be like this massive.
Well, Grounded also doesn't need to be, because it's not. It's a survival game. It's not really live service in the same way.
But Grounded has a pretty good.
Like kind of apples and oranges.
Has a pretty good month-to-month audience. You know, I just, you know, I want Helldivers to last longer. I want to see the industry stay healthy. You know, that's kind of, I guess, my big. But enough of me and Zero going back and forth. Let's see. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to. God damn it, Nappy. Nappy, what are your thoughts? I'll be having brain farts.
That's not good. I get the same thing. I mean, hearing that they actually have everything's up on their earnings reports is good. Despite the fact that they did like fire a lot of people and like close down a lot of companies to have that uptick. I'm just curious to see if Sony can even keep that momentum up, because of it's just more so like, yeah, you guys are up, but you guys are still like, if you guys are, sounds like from what you guys told me, like they're barely in the black, which isn't good, which kind of makes sense, because one of the things,
I didn't say they're barely in the black. I said, you know, 1.5, and based on the rumored production budget, that game would be barely over the black. I'm not characterizing Sony as being barely over the black. They actually said their margins. I think they said their margins were up, like close to 17%. Is what I think I saw. They're actually, as a company, they're up really high, for this particular quarter.
Like I said, well, that's good for them. I'm kind of curious to see, because I understand the PS5 Pro just recently dropped as well. I wonder if that affected the numbers. Despite the fact that
the quarter.
I mean, they had scalpers too. That is not just regular people buying PS5. It was scalpers as well.
Yeah, but when so the PlayStation Pro results won't show up until the next quarter. It'll be on that earnings report, because the product didn't release within the window.
I got you. Well, I'm just curious to see how they're going to be able to keep that momentum, because the year is almost over and we're about to go into quarter 1 of 2025, and also this is holiday season. This is like one of the biggest like spending seasons of the year, so I'm really curious about that, especially after all the cuts and layoffs that they have done. Hopefully they be able to get more earnings, convince people to purchase more products. Heck, make more of the PlayStation games come to PC. We already got Spider-Man 2 is already showing up on Steam, so
That's in
that game's about
January,
to come
right?
out soon.
That's in January.
Yep, it's in January. This is actually like the quickest PlayStation port that's coming to PC that we ever seen, and it's crazy because that game's not even getting no updates. Which
they're going closer and closer to day and date. That's why they purchased all these porting companies.
Yeah, so
closer and closer to that.
We'll just have to wait and see. I'm really curious to see where Sony's going to go on along with this, and let's just see. I'm really curious to see the other reportings of the rest of the consoles and stuff that's currently being sold, and just their products in general.
I was about to
say, did they mention PSVR 2 at all?
No, they just mentioned hardware in general. I think VR is kind of like a dead product.
I'd be very interested to see where that is.
Like I wouldn't say VR is dead. It's just
no. I don't think they're making PSVR 2s anymore.
That's sad.
I don't think.
I mean,
they haven't officially announced it, but they did that. They dropped the price significantly, and then they released that that attachment for the PC. And I think that was just them trying to clear out the stock. Honestly, I think they're going to support VR for the rest of the generation, but I don't think we're going to see like a bunch of VR units getting shipped and mass produced anymore, unless like something changes for them.
Yeah, like I see. Well, we just have to sit back and watch, and let's see if Sony can keep this so-called up momentum up. So that's my thoughts.
All right, and Jubei. I know you're Mr. Doom, so I saved you for last. What are your thoughts regarding the PlayStation earnings and Astrobot hitting 1.5 million units in sales?
As an owner and player of Astrobot, cool. I expected that to be way higher since, every PS5 ever has Astro's Playroom on it. So free advertising. It is crazy that game has only sold 1.5 million copies. It just looks odd when you factor that part in. Outside of that,
the hype around Astro's Playroom would definitely lead you to believe.
I'm like, it's a pack-in title, That's like expecting like when Switch Sports came out, like that did numbers too, just because like people fuck with Wii Sports, like it's kind of like a thing. Like that not happening to Astrobot though is kind of weird. But the other thing I noticed is they didn't quite hit their sales projections for their console sales either. That was
I don't think anybody is,
lower than they thought.
Kind of a worldwide recession going on right now, so I think everybody's numbers is going to be kind of low on hardware.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a lot to say about it. Like, I mean, they're the market leader for a reason. They're not in the red, even despite Concord being in the situation it was.
They didn't talk about Concord on the earnings report, so I don't think.
Of course not. Why would they talk about a failure on the earnings?
Well, you have to report your losses. Also,
I mean,
not publicly.
If you can cover those losses up, because the rest of your business is healthy.
No, you still got when you lose that much, you got to report it. So I think they might push that down the road. I don't think they want to talk about it because they're still in the process. They're probably still in the process of closing Firewalk. Like it's probably not 100% closed. Like just how Xbox was in the process of closing down Tango, and for all we knew, Tango was closed months ago, and then like boom, months later, like oh no, we sold Tango. So, like, these studios kind of go through a shutdown period. So, I don't think they have to fully report those losses until the studio is, like, fully closed.
I don't know. Yeah, they just immediately closed it.
Nah, I don't think they just immediately, like, closed it, shut the doors, and told everybody to get out. I don't know. They give...
That's what it looks like, though.
No, these companies aren't that ruthless. They are ruthless, but they're not that ruthless. Like they give you time. They give you time to look for work and stuff like that, or give you time to um apply for roles internally and all that good stuff. You know, as they kind of start sunsetting the studio and all that.
But yeah, like I said, I don't really have a lot to touch on with that, just because, yeah.
Okay. And then I think there's a two-part of this because y'all sent me something else. And it was that Sony president and COO CFO Hiroki Totoki says PlayStation needs to have more detailed checks and gates, such as more user tests to prevent situations like Concord happening again. We need to repeat those gates more so that we could have caught and determine what will be accepted by users or not. We need to have more information that will be usable to enable us to make more sound decisions. Looking back on the past, I think we need to go back to the basics and make it really stronger. So basically, that just to me sounds like they're going to be doing a lot more beta testing. So a lot more beta testing, a lot more early access when it comes to these live service games.
To me, particularly because it seems to be very specifically talking towards Concord, a very roundabout way of saying like, we don't really even know why this game failed, but apparently a bunch of people didn't like it, so we're gonna go quality test. But like Jube said earlier, the quality of Concord wasn't the issue.
Yeah, it just
So,
didn't resonate. It didn't resonate with whatever audience they thought
whatever audience they wanted to get, they wanted to resonate
and
with.
that's what I've been saying. They need to figure out, you know, what audiences they're trying to reach and kind of grow in those areas. Like really.
Well, I'd say in the space of Concord, they were very clear about the audience that didn't like this game was very clear about why they didn't like this game.
Yeah.
In no uncertain terms. So theoretically, if they're chasing that audience, they're very clear on what they want.
But all right, so the audience spoke out and said what they want, but what we need to know is the message landing with them? Because
I guess that all depends, right? Like to your point earlier, like Stellar Blade probably could have done better. But that game seemed tailor fit for the audience that didn't like Concord.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think it was just the look of the characters that kind of sabotaged the game. People beta tested it and got a chance to play it for free, and there were things that they didn't like about. I think, I I think one of the things that kind of killed the game is that I think some of the, you know, maybe some of the larger, you know, voices in the PlayStation community, whether they work internally at PlayStation or they work at news outlets or whatever, they are overly positive in their review of the game, and I think that can lead to a false perception that this game is going to do well. Like from we heard from different articles that you weren't able to speak poorly of Concord throughout its development. It was basically a love fest throughout, you know, Sony internally, to where you really couldn't say anything negative about the game. And then if that then permeates on the outside where the media does the same thing and doesn't really give harsh criticisms, and then people on Twitter, you can't tell necessarily who's a fanboy, who's just a hater, and who are people who are genuinely playing the game and have genuine criticisms. I think that kind of leads them in a place where they're like, we just got to trust our gut and trust, you know, what we worked on all these years, and that this game is going to do well, and it comes out and it flops. So um it's not just listening to the audience. Like they have to find out who the genuine audience is, and the message really has to land with them. That's why I do think those early accesses and those betas will kind of help them funnel out who the real voices of their community are in the games that they're trying to. So it's a lot with Sony because they're stepping into new territory when it comes to this live service stuff, and they really got to figure it out. And with all this new IP stuff, because they're trying to find new IPs that kind of land. They said they don't have enough of them, so they really got to find that out. Like what new IPs are really gonna resonate with people. They have a lot to work on. They have a lot to work on, but they have a lot of resources. They got a lot of brilliant minds over there in anime and movies and TV. I'm sure they'll figure it out, but they do have a lot of work to do. Nappy, you weren't in the middle. We ended on Jubei. Jubei, did you finish your thought?
Yeah, I'm good with that, man. Like I
Alright.
said, yeah, good for
Well,
them.
we were bouncing around on a Hiroki thing, and Zero went first. I'm like losing track. Did you have anything to say in regards to Hiroki's comments, Jubei? Since I called you out.
Nah, we'll wait and see. I've been saying that all this shit's gonna fail anyway. So
You're probably right in some aspects. I really hope that it doesn't. Because if
I'm
all
right in all the aspects I need to be in.
if all them live service games fail, Sony's gonna look a lot different. Sony first
Of
party is
course.
gonna look a lot different. So I not necessarily rooting for that. But Omar, what did you think in regards to Hiroki's comment?
I real talk. So here's the thing. I'm zoning out up until I see what's next from PlayStation. What I mean by that is this. He said that he have yet to reveal his best game. So show me your best game. And when you were talking about they need to find their audience and stuff like that, to me, how do I say this? Like I will go back to Ubisoft when they made Golden Crown, Prince of Persia. Amazing game, yet it didn't sell well. Like, you can make an amazing game and people are just not gonna simply buy it. That's just the reality of things.
I don't think it's
It's not.
always that simple though. Like,
It is though.
all right, so I didn't
There
even
was
know.
even
I didn't even know that Golden Crown game came out. I was waiting
that
for.
that
I was waiting for that Sands of Time remake.
yeah,
So
that's on you, cause not
no,
only
that's
did
on
they
them because they missed out on
no
they missed out on a
no
sale.
listen. In what reality you, a person that is I'm gonna say in the industry in the sense of we do podcasts and I share with you people everything about the Golden Crown. I shared when it got a demo. Did you try the demo out?
No, I didn't get around to the demo, but I missed the release date, so I didn't even know the game came out.
It
So if I didn't
you,
know the date, if I didn't know the game came out, think about how many other people that didn't know the game came out. That's not a me issue. That's a them issue. They're missing
when
out. They're missing out on the sale.
when they went gold, I shared that.
Yeah, but I mean, I may have missed
No,
that.
but
I'm
the
not like
thing is,
I'm not in the DM every 24.
yeah, no, I got you on that end, but to me it feels like if you was interested in the game, if this was on your radar, you would have gotten to it, but it's not on your radar, and that's
Yeah, I bought it.
a-okay.
Yeah, I bought it for sure.
Yeah.
That's a-okay for it not to be on your radar.
Yeah, so
But
Golden Crown is a game that I'll be in the Xbox store and it'll pop up and I'll buy it. I'm like, and then we'll be in the chat like, oh, I just got that Prince of Persia Golden Crown. I didn't even know it was out. So I mean, I did all the time. Like I go on the Xbox store all the time and I see like games. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I'll buy that or I'll put it on the wish list.
Yeah, I don't know who organized the store. That I can't comment on. But what I can comment on is they did a deep dive to the game and they gave a demo. So it's not like that the game was obscure or something like that. It's just people didn't care about it, and that's okay. That's the same way I didn't care for Concord. It's okay for people to not care about um uh, uh, what you call it, Golden Crown. Not every game is for every person, and I truly believe it's impossible to reach that audience where a game is going to be for every person.
Well, I don't think a game is for every person, but when you make a product and you're going to spend nearly $500 million on that product, you need to understand exactly who you're trying to reach and what exactly they want. Like you can't just that money just can't be spent, you know, without a without a plan, a legitimate, concrete, fundamental plan on how that's gonna benefit you and your company and how you're gonna make a product that customers truly want. That's a lot of money to spend and not have that type of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like that can't be the thing. And even like, you know, I don't know how much Golden Crown costs, but if it was an extremely expensive game, um, I would say the same thing about that game. If you're gonna be spending $200-300 million on these games, you better know who you're selling it to. Like you better have focus groups and everything else that you need to have to make sure um that you're have a pretty reasonable chance of being somewhat successful in what you're making, that you'll at least break even on it at worst. um because that's like a no-no. That can't be, that can't be the thing for Sony, that can't be the thing for Ubisoft, that can't be the thing for Microsoft, Embracer Group, Square, any of them. You got to know your audience.
I mean, look at their audience. People wanted the Dead Space remake, and it didn't sell well. So my point is, at what point do you gotta accept what's happening? And
Well, well,
yeah.
a couple thousand people asking for a game is, you still have to go, those people have to go the extra mile and see what was the previous success of that game. Like it's not just a couple people begging on Twitter. Like there's people begging on Twitter for Legend of Dragoon, right? They're begging up and down the timeline for Legend of Dragoon. I see it pretty often actually. Um, but how well did Legend of Dragoon sell? You know? And how many of those sales can be expected to repurchase the game, what, 25 years later? Because that game's pretty old now. Like, how many people are actually going to go back and who played the game 25 years ago? How many of those are locked into buying the remake? And then outside of that, how many new customers can we truly expect to gain if we really make Legend of Dragoon again?
That's super easy to focus on. You know how? Look what Expedition 33 is gonna do.
No,
Look at
that's a completely different. There's no guarantee that if Sony remade Legend of Dragoon that it would look like Expedition 33. There's no guarantee. There's no, like, the game is 25 years old. Like we don't know if it will be turn based. Like we don't know what direction they would take with that game. But those are all things that they have. That's all data
there is
that they have to consider.
there we've seen what PlayStation can do with remakes though. Blue Point by definition cracked it
Yeah, but
with
but
with
Demon
Shadow of
Souls
the
didn't come out on PlayStation 1.
sorry?
The Demon Souls wasn't a PlayStation 1 game.
No, but still they found a way to make it better.
Yeah.
If you I played both Demon Souls, and trust me, the remake is far better than the original one.
I'm not arguing that, but my point is like with a game like Legend of Dragoon, if you remake it to a AAA standard in 2029, 2030 at this point, if they started development today, it is 100% a completely different game built from the ground up than it was when it came out 25, 30 years ago. It's a completely different ballgame.
We don't know if they're making on it, but
No, we
I
know they're
wish-
not. We know they're not. But
I
I'm just
wish-
saying, I'm just giving that game as an example. Like, it's a game that people have asked for a long time to be remade. And if it were truly remade, what could Sony realistically expect for that game to do? There's research that would go into that. It's not just, oh, let's like Dead Space. Yeah, a lot of people asked for that game. Thousands of people asked for it. But if you really look at it, Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2 didn't necessarily sell great. So they didn't necessarily have any guarantees that remaking remaking Dead Space would result in this critical mass success, unlike something like Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 sold great. So they knew when they remade that game, and they knew that people were following along in the series of Resident Evil, and that these Resident Evils were producing these type of numbers. So when they went back and remade like Resident Evil 2, they had an understanding that that game had a reasonable chance of being successful.
Yeah, they took a risk. So unless you take a risk, you're not gonna know where you stand.
Yeah, but there's reasonable risk, and then there's just like, fuck it, I'm throwing just shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. Which is kind of what, unfortunately, seems what happened with Concord. Unfortunately. So, but we spent quite a bit of time on this topic.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. Let me throw this timestamp down. And let's go ahead for our second pick of the day. And if you have made it this far, hit that like button, share us out. We greatly appreciate you guys. Let's see what we got here. All right, topic number 2 of today is we got quite an interesting shadow drop on, what was that, Friday, Jubei? Of Death Stranding dropping onto the Xbox platform. So at first when I hopped on Twitter, I thought shit was a prank. So I'm home. I throw on the Xbox and I see that it's in there for $20. So I go and I grab Death Stranding for $20 on Xbox. The director's a cut. Apparently they're doing a promotion, I think, through like Black Friday, I think, where you can get the game at like 50% off.
So hold up, you grabbed it on Xbox, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you grab it on PlayStation 2?
No, I didn't grab it on PlayStation.
I did.
Why not? It was free.
Yeah, I got it for free, and then I did the director's cut upgrade when they did that.
It was literally for free.
I don't know. I did play it on. I did play it on my PC a little bit because it was on PC.
I do know because console bias.
No, I said I didn't know it was free on. I don't turn on my PlayStation a lot, so I might have missed it.
Dude, we covered it when we talked about which game was available on the PlayStation Welcome app.
Like I said,
not app.
I don't be turning on my PlayStation a lot, so even though if we covered it, I may have just been like F it and forgot about it because I don't really, I only turn on my PlayStation to play like Final Fantasy here and there. and then everything.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised. So, are you gonna play the Stranding?
Yeah, I'll definitely I'll give it a go. I gotta get through
Enjoy
I
it.
gotta get through Metaphor first, but
I love it.
um, but yeah, I picked that up on Friday. And we learned that apparently this came as a result of PlayStation selling Death Stranding rights back to Kojima Productions. And then it looks like the game was then ported over to Xbox via 505 Games. So definitely something interesting to see. Being that PlayStation has a lot of deals like they do with Death Stranding, and it's kind of interesting. Like, is this something that we'll see more of? Is it a one and done thing? It definitely sparked a lot of conversation in the Twitterverse and on different podcasts that I listened to throughout the weekend. I'm gonna get Jube's thoughts first. Seeing Death Stranding come to your platform of preference. I know it's something that you never really expected to happen. Even though it was on PC Game Pass for quite a while. What
Um,
what were your thoughts?
yeah, so I was very surprised when I turned on my Xbox and saw that shit. I'm like, $20? Really? Okay, let's go. Um, I had already gotten it for free on PlayStation and then did the director's cut upgrade for like $10 or whatever the fuck that was. Then, of course, it was on PC Game Pass, but it's like I installed it on my PC, but I didn't actually play it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just cool just to see that actually pop up because that also gives me if they sold him all the IP rights, that means DS2 should be on Xbox way quicker than this would make it, which
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah, I'm curious. So that's one of the main things I'm curious about is this a situation where now PS2 is a day and date, or did PlayStation still maintain some type of limited exclusivity? Because this,
No, I think it's gonna be
Now,
exclusive up until
if you
until
sold me
down the road.
if you sold me my rights back though, like I'm like, what exclusive?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like I have full
What?
control of my IP now,
Because it was
unless that
exclusive.
was a term of the sale.
Yeah, but I
If that
say
was a term of the sale, that's different.
that's what I'm saying. It was exclusive based on it being exclusive to PlayStation at the time. So we don't know what term, you know, Death Stranding was sold back to Kojima Productions on. So if you know they have full, because before it wasn't a timed exclusive thing. It was just we own the IP. So now that they sold it,
Yeah,
it's gonna be kind of interesting to see kind of where that goes. I mean, we can all assume that it's probably gonna be timed exclusive. But there's no real guarantee because there's no sense in having a contract of exclusivity, timed exclusivity when you already own the IP to begin with.
exactly.
Originally. So it's a new dynamic. It's definitely interesting. We haven't really seen things like this happen in the industry. Um, so yeah, definitely interesting. Zero, what were your thoughts when you saw that Death Stranding hitting the Xbox?
I did not know Death Stranding showed up on Xbox. I think that's really cool, actually. It was funny. It's probably on. I was supposed to play my Xbox. I was supposed to play Metal Slug Tactics this week and never got around to it. So I
See,
assumed that
we
if I
always we always dropping it in the group chat. Omar, Zero missed it. What's that? Happened?
I totally missed it. Although to be fair to Omar, like I did have it on PlayStation Plus. um, uh, but that's cool. I've never once played Death Stranding. I couldn't tell you what it's about in the absolute least. I probably won't get around to playing it until close to when Death Stranding 2 drops.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it because if you really
Yeah.
like it, then you can just roll into the second one.
Then I can roll to the second one. If I don't, then I don't even gotta touch the second one.
Yeah.
But I'm big for everybody being able to play more things, and particularly for, uh, especially if the idea is that Kojima is getting the rights back to his thing.
Yeah.
Even better, because like it's his thing. Like I don't know how much involvement PlayStation had with making it. I'm sure some, because it was functionally exclusive.
They
Right?
did give him an engine to work with.
The Decima. So
yeah.
So in that case, like it's good to see it come out, and like we said before, like now would be a good enough time, right? Even if Sony just forever and ever does timed exclusives, it feels like time is up for Death Stranding to show up anywhere else it can. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why we're holding on to this thing anymore. It's like you've made all the money you can make from it. Somebody else can get a little extra change as well. It's not gonna hurt. So that's cool. I hear nothing but good things about it. Xbox people, go play that, man. Like it's support Kojima at least. That's our guy.
Yeah. And we got OD coming from him too, which I'm excited to see kind of two horror minds work together, an Eastern and a Western horror mind when it comes to Jordan Peele and Kojima. So I am.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that. That's not showing up anywhere until at least probably 26, 27, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Honestly,
Okay.
I don't. I think it's gonna arrive on next gen Xbox if we're being real. If 2026 is gonna happen.
You're
Yeah.
probably not wrong, because Peele's supposed to be working on he's working on a movie himself. So like, when does he have time to do this other thing?
Well, he's not a developer. So being that he's not a developer, he's just kind of creative
I mean,
mind.
unless like his what was it, George R.R. Martin's sort of contributions to the Elden Ring, which it wasn't though. He was sitting there crafting the story.
Well, he might be there crafting the story, but crafting the story, that doesn't take a lot of time as compared to development time.
Yeah, maybe. So we'll see.
He might come in and like look at the art that's being done and see if it kind of matches his vision. But yeah.
Well, you know what? Actually, I don't know, because Kojima is pretty auteur, so like he might want to actually sit down and be like, so how we gonna work this out?
I'm sure they have meetings, but
like you make movies. I want to make a movie. Let's see how best we can make this into a movie for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They probably bounce stuff off. He probably like sees the game pretty regularly.
I thought they're making already a Death Stranding movie.
I don't know about a Death Stranding movie, but we're just talking about Jordan Peele and Kojima collaborating on that horror game.
I also don't think Kojima is making the Death Stranding movie, so like I think it's still a little out there. But now that Jube said it, I lean towards his take anyway. We probably won't see this game until the new consoles come out. So, in which time Jordan Peele will not be working on any movie, probably. So, it doesn't even really matter.
Yeah. So PC Man, the one who always had Death Stranding, so he didn't really care where it showed up. How did you feel hearing Death Stranding go to Xbox?
Not much of anything, to be honest with you. I'm like, oh, Death Stranding is coming to Xbox. How old is that game?
Like
and that game had
old?
5 years.
5 years old. I mean, the game already had a niche audience. People who loved it. People who didn't like it. I mean, at this point, Sony made as much money as they could off of that game. So, coming to Xbox, it doesn't surprise me not one bit.
It doesn't surprise you that a PlayStation owned IP made its way to the Xbox?
Well, I ain't gonna lie. I always thought Sony was struggling. Like before, you guys told me about the earning report about they were in the up, but I was like, okay, maybe Sony realizing that exclusivity isn't the best thing, keeping all their games exclusive forever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're doing as well as their earnings project because I didn't see the Concord there and some other things. So I think some of that stuff is going to show up in the later earnings reports. So But I do think, I do think they're figuring things out. And I think they have a lot to figure out in the leading of Jim Ryan. They got new leadership there. And whatever issues he left behind, it's going to take some time for them to kind of clean up. I was never a
Yeah.
big Jim Ryan guy, so I always said that.
Well, we're gonna is Death Stranding. So you said Death Stranding 2 is no longer going to be an exclusive because they
We
don't own the
don't
studio no more.
know. We don't know. They never owned
We
the
don't.
studio. They never owned the studio. They just owned the IP. So they owned the IP, and being that they owned the IP, they allowed Kojima to use the Decima engine, which is a proprietary engine of Sony. I think Guerrilla Games made it pretty positive.
That's gonna be interesting. I wonder if this is like a weird tactic to be like, hey, when Death Stranding 2 comes out, only exclusively on
Well,
PlayStation.
I think me personally, I think it's a pilot. I think it's kind of a pilot. They sent the game over. They want to see what kind of reception it gets, what kind of sales it gets, and I think that there's potential for games that are 5, 6, 7 years old that are kind of dead, kind of make their way over
Well,
to PlayStation.
I think there was a better option. They should have did Spider-Man.
I don't think Spider-Man would be off the table because it's a Disney-owned IP. I don't.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like Death Stranding. I mean,
I think
it's like
think the
decent
God.
game.
I think the God of Wars and the Sony-owned IPs. I think those are a little bit more off the table. The ones that they hold sacred. But a game like like Spider-Man, where Disney is kind of like really hard on these development companies when it comes to royalties. I can see some of those games kind of cross-pollinating.
They had
Especially the more expensive the character is, I think the more likely you see, it ending up in multiple places.
I got you. What about the there was another game. It was like a roguelike space game, third person shooter. I can't remember the name of it, but I know it was like a PlayStation exclusive, but it also came on PC eventually. I mean,
I don't think I don't think that's a Sony first party. I mean,
It's not Returnal, right?
I think it's maybe internal. I'm not sure. I forgot the
yeah,
name of it.
Returnal is not third person though.
It's third person.
I said third person. Third person.
Yeah, you're probably talking about Returnal. I don't see Returnal coming to Xbox.
I'm just saying. I mean, because don't be wrong. Death Stranding. The thing about Death.
No, the reason why. So here's the thing. The reason why Returnal would never hit Xbox because, if I remember correctly, I forgot, but I think Housemarque is owned by PlayStation.
They are.
PlayStation and PlayStation own the Returnal IP. So
I mean, but I can see a world where when Returnal is 6, 7 years old, it ends up on Xbox. I can see that if
that's what I'm saying. Like the game is old. That was like one of the day one releases for the PlayStation 5. I don't think they're going to make much more money off of it. They're going to do the same they probably do with on PC.
A PlayStation and an IP like Returnal hitting Xbox, it's like God of War hitting Xbox.
No, it's not.
Really?
No.
I would not put it up there on the God of War. Whoa.
No, I never. No, hold up. I never said they're on the same level. They're literally the same thing. An IP owned by PlayStation. PlayStation
but Death Stranding is an IP.
Protective about their IPs. It doesn't matter 1 year or 10 years old. It just doesn't matter.
We just saw it with Returnal.
The difference with what?
We just seen it with Death Stranding.
The difference with Death Stranding is PlayStation don't own the IP anymore. Not only that, PlayStation didn't publish it on Xbox. 505 did.
Like I said, I think it's a pilot, just like MLB didn't. Just like MLB published.
In order for Returnal to hit Xbox One, Housemarque need to leave PlayStation. That's number one. Number two, Housemarque need to own the IP from Returnal.
I don't think neither of those things need to happen. Like I said, I can see a world where PlayStation starts release they just released Lego Horizon on the Switch. It's not as preposterous to think that
I'm
they
just
might release
saying.
other games in other places. It's not.
I can see them releasing their older games at higher prices on the Xbox because they literally do that on PC. They release their older games at a higher price compared to PlayStation, and PC players just eat it up and just buy it. So, and honestly, I didn't think Eternal was that much of a big deal compared to like God of War. I mean,
No,
I
the
know
game.
Spider-Man's a big deal. That was a big stretch, but Eternal, I didn't think so.
I think they last reported the game sold like 600,000 copies. So
600,000?
yeah, I think that's what they were.
Damn.
Yeah, I think it was like
Game
600,000.
wasn't that bad.
As you guys know, I hate that fucking game.
Yeah, but the thing is, the game sold 600,000. If you can release it somewhere else and it picks up another 500,000 sales,
That shit sold mud. I don't give a fuck what that game sold. Fuck that.
I didn't even know that game was
Are you
that bad. I
still
thought it was
salty?
decent as a.
I
It's supposed to be
would-
like a little roguelike.
We know.
I
we
will
know
be
you-
the
Of course he's
opposite
still
Jube.
salty.
I loved Returnal.
Yeah, I
I
love
wish-
Eternal too.
I wish more people would make maybe some more high quality roguelikes.
I mean, we're gonna see why they don't, cause it don't sell well, sadly. The what you call it, the roguelike genre, unless it's indie and it hits off, it's not gonna sell well.
like,
There's a
Really?
reason. There's a reason
Ridiculous.
why a game like Binding of Isaac hit off so well. It sold for very cheap, and it was basically practically not per se free, but close to free for the amount that it was given.
so,
So I can't see a game close to like Returnal doing that numbers. Maybe on PC.
so I think Returnal's already on PC though.
No. I'm saying a game like Returnal on PC. That's what I mean.
Oh, but yeah, but when I say I think it's a pilot, because if Death Stranding in next month's when the next round of MPD comes out, if Death Stranding appears on that MPD list, these companies are gonna see that and they're gonna be like, what games don't we have on Xbox, or what games don't we have on whatever platform you want to name, whether it be Nintendo, PC, whatever, that we can that we've just have sitting here not making any money, that we can drop over there real quick and make a quick couple $1 million. I think that
Yeah.
goes. I don't think that's just a Sony thing. I think that's just a
With them keeping their investors happy.
just a gaming industry thing. Like I've already said, I think I've said this for a while. I think the gaming industry is going the way of the movie industry, and you don't go to a certain movie theater. There's not exclusive. There's not movies exclusive to certain movie theaters. Like in some ways, like people are gonna start. A lot of these games are gonna start appearing a bunch of different places. I always think there's gonna be exclusive content because you need, like Disney Plus has exclusive content, Netflix has, like, these services are gonna have exclusive content, but at the same time, there's a lot of places you can go to digest the same content. So I
Yeah.
could definitely see older games from Xbox, from PlayStation, and when some miracle happens at Nintendo, maybe a Nintendo game pops up somewhere it's not supposed to be, like your cell phone. Only place I see a Nintendo game popping up, I don't see it popping up on a PlayStation or an Xbox, but I can see some Nintendo games popping up on your cell phone. I can see them doing it.
I don't know.
Because if they create their own application, if you can download an app that allows you to play certain Nintendo games, it can happen.
We
But
already
they-
got
they- they
Nintendo
ha-
Music and our alarm clock.
I mean, they are, but they heavily rely on the hardware sales too, though. That's the thing.
But if it's not the entire library, it doesn't have to be the entire library. It can just be.
I disagree with that comment wholeheartedly.
I mean, usually Nintendo just makes mobile games. If they don't release their games, they just make a whole nother mobile game for mobile phones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
Mario
you got the
Kart.
Star Wars.
what I'm
You got the
saying-
Star Wars Outlaw game.
But I'm saying
that was one.
as these phones get more and more advanced, some of the mobile games might be like Super NES Mario. You know,
They
That
not.
might be a little less
They.
likely because
I
they
don't know about
well,
that.
not it's not that. It's just like then that's less reason for people to subscribe to Nintendo on Switch Online.
no,
You know
but
what game you're
no, no, but
getting? You're getting Jumpman.
no, but what I'm saying is Switch Online can be an app on your phone. Is what I'm saying.
First two
I,
probably.
That like so it's not saying don't get Switch Online. Maybe Switch Online ends up on your phone at some point in time. Just saying.
yeah, I don't seem that generous. Nintendo generous with their IPs like that.
I don't think that's generous. They're still making
Oh no,
all the money.
they charge you for both.
Yeah, I don't think that's generous. They're making money.
Oh, go to monthly subscription like Nvidia now.
Yeah, like they're still making money. It's not like it's not
Hmm.
even a one-time sale. You're locked into a subscription to play Super Mario NES, and and I'm not saying that they unload the whole library. They can have like 5 or 6 games that you can play on your phone. It's just those 5 or 6 games. But if you want the whole Switch Online library, you gotta have a Switch too. So this is just a
We'll
couple little
see.
games
We'll
you
have
can
to see
play.
on that.
I can see that happening. I don't like I said I don't see a Nintendo game showing up on a different platform other than mobile. That's the only place because like, you already got Pokemon Go and things like you already kind of got it a little bit, so I can see them expanding it.
Hmm. We'll see.
Ooh.
But back to the PlayStation thing, Death
Excuse me, I'm
Stranding.
sorry.
Bless you. Yeah, Death Stranding. I want to see how this goes. I don't think it's going to sell like incredibly well. I think this is just like I said, they're probably testing their waters. Then I think they should have did Eternal over Death Stranding because again, Death Stranding is a little niche title. But then again, Eternal's a niche title as well. But I think it's a more open niche title compared to Death Stranding.
I'm gonna ask you this: do you think that Returnal will chart on the MPD? I'm not saying it'll be a top 10, but do you think it'll chart in that top 20?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Internal would chart in that top 20 if they did release on Xbox right away. I think it will be.
No, I'm
I
not
think
talking
it
about
will definitely
Returnal. I'm not
sell.
talking about Returnal. I'm talking about Death Stranding. When the next round of MPD comes out, do you think it'll chart? Do you think that the announcement
Um,
had enough steam that it'll chart?
I mean, because like I said, I mean, everyone loves Kojima's work,
Like,
and this was like,
and to keep it in perspective, Astrobot charted, and Astrobot sold 1.5 million. It charted at number 2. I'm saying, do you think Death Stranding will be in the top 20?
okay. If you want to use Astrobot for 1.5 million, I could see that because then again, because right now I'm pretty sure that once that sell Xbox, it opens up to other regions, so I can see it get at least like 2 million.
I don't even know if it gets 2 million, but I do think it'll chart in the top 20, which means I think it'll sell a couple 100,000 units. And but I
Yeah,
think that
well,
I think that is attractive to someone who has an IP that's sitting around doing absolutely nothing.
yeah. I mean, Sony's not the only company, but but
That's what
yeah,
I'm saying. I think everybody will be looking at that like, oh, I got this game that I never released on Xbox, but it's really popular and people on Xbox have been asking for it.
nah, what they should have done to be a dick was put the first Final Fantasy Chapter 1 on Xbox, and then announce Final Fantasy Chapter 3.
I mean that's literally what happened with Sega. Sega started releasing games that's been on PlayStation for forever, and they started slowly releasing them on Xbox, and they were like, we're buying this shit. And they just kept doing it until it got to the point where they just released stuff day on date on Xbox now. Like it was sitting around not making money on PlayStation because it already reached its audience.
Peak audience.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, we can actually make more money here with that. And they that's kind of what started happening. So I think Death Stranding is kind of a pilot for that. They've seen like literally MLB The Show, a PlayStation game makes more money on Xbox than it does on PlayStation right now. So, yeah, they're looking at that stuff. They are because they're at the end of the day, they're not console fanboys. They're about making money. If they can make money in a way that makes sense and doesn't hurt what they got going on PlayStation, they'll do it. let's see. We got Zeros. We got Captain Xboxes. We got Nappies. We got to get Omar's opinion on Death Stranding going to Xbox. I know he kind of spoke a little bit, but let him get his full bars off. What are your thoughts when you saw?
Yeah, congratulations, you got the best walking FedEx sim in the history of FedEx sim. You already supported it, and I'm curious to see what is gonna be on Xbox. But real talk though, amazing game. Play it. I can't stress it. You're actually gonna play the improved version with that sticky gun. Not sticky gun. The one gun from um the Half-Life series, which is broken as fuck. It got some stuff now because of the re-release, and they're selling it for rather cheap price, $20. Like that's super fucking cheap.
Yeah.
So
Well,
support it.
that's just the promo. I think after a while it's gonna be like back at like $40, whatever price. It's half off right now, so
I mean,
it's
it's
like
smart.
$40. But yeah,
It's
it's a
smart.
good promo right now.
The thing about this game is watching gameplay, it gonna turn you off. You're gonna think boring, but when you play it yourself, it's gonna feel amazing. Also, I will say though, you got the less amazing one because it doesn't have haptic. Cause that
Uh,
shit is different without it, in my
I
opinion.
I've yet to be impressed with the haptic on PlayStation.
And that's a different
It
opinion.
doesn't do it for me personally.
Yeah. But yeah, no. I'm curious what you're gonna say about Death Stranding, cause Death Stranding is the type of game for the people that always says, "I want something different. I want something fresh. I'm tired of the status quo."
Yeah.
Here's Death Stranding.
Huh? Right. So that said, let's go ahead and get into our final topic of today. Kind of PlayStation heavy today. Uh, PlayStation podcast. How y'all like that? Fuck all that green behind you. And me too. Let's see. Our final topic of the day: PlayStation PS5 Pro. Let me get a timestamp on that. All right. And so PS5 Pro dropped last week. I think of our panel, we only have one PS5 Pro owner who is currently here.
Yep.
I'm not sure if Kofi got one. So, first of all, I'm gonna let Jubei give his impressions of the box. I kind of consider it a hate buy for him, as we know he is Captain Xbox. So, uh,
As I am.
let's hear this unbiased opinion on on the PlayStation 5 Pro. What do you got to say about it?
All right, let me start with the positives. Okay. So
It is smaller.
I mean, no, it's not.
It's not
It's
smaller.
no, it's not as big as the like dimensions wise. It's not as big as the OG.
Mm-hmm.
It's just as tall. You know what I mean? Like it's not like the Slim, which was like noticeably smaller.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that.
Heard it stands up on its own without the base. Heard that.
It does, but I already had a base from my Slim, so I didn't have. I mean, I was already in there.
Okay.
I did buy a disk drive for it.
Okay.
I want to say my issue with the Slim was, and my issue with the OG PlayStation non-digital was, even if I wasn't playing the disc-based game, that damn disk drive would spin up if I was playing like something entirely different.
Okay.
I would hear that's been up for whatever reason. That's not happening on the Pro so far, so that is definitely a plus because that
Okay.
PlayStation disk drive is not quiet. Yeah, I mean, outside of that, from what I've played God of War looks really on that. I mean,
I'm sorry, you cut out.
still
What
still the
about God
same
of
game.
War?
I said it looks really good.
Does it look better?
Therein lies my problem.
Does it look pro? That's the question.
$200
No,
upgrade Pro.
no. So I will say, I personally don't.
Okay.
It's worth paying that $200 premium. To be honest.
But you got it as
I've
an
looked at
enthusiast.
Horizon.
You got it as an enthusiast. So as an enthusiast, do you think the box is worth it? That's the first question.
If you're an enthusiast, of course it's gonna.
Okay.
I wish I had gotten that 30th anniversary joint, but I didn't have a brand just hanging out. I also didn't make it in time, so
So as an enthusiast, it's worth it, but as a casual consumer, you don't see
as
the
an
performance.
everyday consumer, absolutely not.
Okay. All right.
Like, it's nice to get more, like, consistent frames and stuff, but I mean, the biggest issue with this thing is the CPU is still the same, so it's
All right.
we're still going to be hitting
So
those same bottlenecks.
as a person who has a nicer TV that can use all of the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro features, things like VRR and stuff, does it really make up a difference in the Pro? Because, like you were getting VRR was kind of getting you like a stable 60 on a lot of games.
It honestly doesn't. VRR is a crutch.
Yeah, but the PS5 Pro
It'll
still
hide
uses it.
it'll hide the discrepancy. Yes, but it still hides there's still frame discrepancies happening. You just can't tell.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of VRR is you won't see the drops and stuff.
But what I'm saying is, being that you have VR prior and now that you have the Pro, are you seeing differences? Is kind of what I'm asking, because
the VRR is still the same. It's the exact same VRR implementation. What they need to do is lower the floor.
Okay.
Like, only going down to 48 frames. It's not gonna that VRR is not gonna catch everything. If something falls below 48 frames, it's gonna drop out of the VRR window. Xbox, I think, goes from 40 on up, so like they have like an extra 8 frames to kind of work with, but it's literally the same implementation. Nothing about VRRs. I was hoping we would see a lower floor to 40, because then VRR would be essentially flawless. Like, I mean, if you can get it running at anything running at least 40, VR will take care of the rest. So
yeah, I was mainly asking because people are gonna have these type of questions, and
absolutely.
they may not get these type of answers elsewhere.
Right. No, I got you. Like the UI is the same. Like, there's like a little I don't want to call it themes. There's no themes. Like, it has like a little thing where you can see like the AP or whatever on the background, and it's like they're cool. It's just a PS5 that's gonna get you better frames and sometimes better looking stuff. Sometimes it's like you're still gonna be at 30 frames, which is the whole fucking point of trying to get away from that. But there's still games that are just gonna be still 30 frames, and you can't really do anything about that because of the CPU. I wish we would have saw that jump, but in that case, you might as well launch a next gen system. So
I already gave you my hypothesis.
yeah, I know you think it's beta testing for PSSR, and my thing is, I find like some of the things look softer than they do on the regular. Like, not that it looks bad or anything. It's just the image is definitely softer. It's not as crisp just because it is being upscaled. I will say though, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, that is probably the one. That and Demons, the two games that show off.
I've heard
like
people say that
a tangible
they
difference.
didn't think that Final Fantasy Rebirth would look better than it does.
Yeah, and it does. it's that is 100% a night and day.
Yeah.
And then Demon Souls, just being able to just play that at 60 with all the bells and whistles just feel really good. So those two, if you're a fan of those, sure. But like for the everyday person, I don't think you need to be spending $700 on this.
So that was your good.
Because
That was your good. And doesn't sound like you have anything bad to say about it.
I mean, the only thing bad I have to say about it is still a damn PlayStation. Yeah, that's literally the only bad thing I have to say about it. Like, still the same games, just prettier and occasionally better frames. So,
Okay.
with the outliers being Rebirth and Demon Souls.
Yeah. So Demon Souls and Rebirth showed you the potential of Pro.
When you have Rebirth side, it's just like, wow.
Okay.
I don't know what implementation they're using, but like I didn't think the game was that blurry, but like see it's like, yeah, I agree. So yeah, like I was hoping for more. It's not the same jump that I saw from the PS4 to the PS4 Pro.
Okay.
Like that was more drastic in terms of like noticeability. Like it was a tangible thing. Just like going from the Xbox One to the One X, how you had that 100% noticeable leap, like playing was it Assassin's Creed Origins?
Hmm?
Like on the One X was crazy when I first got that. I was just like, yo.
Sure. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
just like Shadow of War, like it was nuts. It'd be like, yo, it's so clean. Yeah, I'm just not getting that outside of those two games. I'm not really getting that wow here. So,
Okay. All right.
so not that it's bad. It's a good console. If you are still on PlayStation 4, get this. If you have a 5, unless you really care about the brand, just wait.
See, I could see myself getting the Pro, but now that everything's coming to PC from PlayStation, it's like
Right. If you have a PC, definitely don't bother. But
I can give my kids my PS5. But if I do get a Pro, it's gonna be like my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Pro.
Mhm.
Basically, what it would be.
I do also hate that only the bottom plates are interchangeable with the Slim, which I find really stupid. I was kind of hoping, like, holding out hope that, like, hey, if I get that Slim 30th anniversary PS5, I can just put the plates on and it'll be fine, right? No, close.
No,
Just the bottom.
they did that stuff on purpose. They want.
Of course they did. Of course they did. It like literally like the plates, the little snap-ons for the plates go in like opposite direction, so you just can't.
Yeah, they do that stuff on purpose.
I thought that was
just
cool.
like they do it with
I thought that was
they
funny.
do it with cell phones. Like they change the shape of the phone just ever so slightly so that you have to buy a new case. Same thing.
Yep. Yeah, of course. I do also have a Portal.
But you got a Portal.
Really? You got a Portal?
You know what?
I mean,
you know what? You're a fake PlayStation hater at this
point. What?
How?
I'm shocked. A Portal?
Captain Xbox, but maybe Lieutenant PlayStation?
Yeah, you're such a phony.
No,
oh my god, man!
I like making informed commentary.
I mean, I appreciate the informed commentary, but a PlayStation Portal?
That don't sound like hater talk to me.
You can literally download remote play on your phone and be informed.
I am not a fan of remote play on my phone. That's why I use
a lot of Android devices, if you that have Wi-Fi 6E chips inside of them, which is basically what makes the PlayStation Portable somewhat of a decent buy. So I'm just shocked.
He's a closet fanboy. That's what he is.
No,
a closet fan.
I will say if your network fluctuates at all, though, Portal is not for you.
I mean,
It's got to be rock solid. And for some stupid ass reason, it still tries to play HDR on this screen, and there's no HDR. Like this screen does not support HDR, so your colors will look washed out. Literally have to go into your console settings and turn HDR off streaming to this, or you can like go into accessibility and try invert colors, which kind of does the same thing and kind of fixes that. But if you don't do that, it's like just mad out. So I need them to fix that. Like Xbox doesn't have that problem. If you're outputting somewhere else, it's going to be SDR unless that screen supports it. This is a software issue. This can definitely be fixed. Like I don't know why it's outputting HDR to a non-HDR screen, and it does not look when that happens. And you have to go in and then if you do change that, when you go back to your console, you have to remember to change it. It's more so just irritation.
Okay. All right. So now that you've heard Jube's glowing review of all things PlayStation, the Portal,
The
PS5
Lieutenant
Pro,
PlayStation.
the games look
I
so
told you,
amazing.
it's a fanboy.
It's the best thing ever. How's your cart looking right there, Zero? You got a PlayStation 5 Pro in your cart right now?
Yube and I had a conversation with the 30th anniversary. We both were looking. I, like him, also just like, I don't really got it like grand to just drop on this thing. So no. The best I can do for you is if ever I can find those gray PS5 original PS1 themed PS5 controllers, as close as I can get to anything that has to deal with the PS5 Pro. It's not the system for me. I just do not care that much about the upgrades and fidelity. Not for $700. I don't care about it that much to make it that big of a difference for me. I've seen the changes from Final Fantasy, but my concern was then and is now. It's like people only seem to be talking about Final Fantasy, but there's a bunch of PS5 games.
Yeah, I think
So
the
I'm just
biggest
like,
issue I've seen is that I'm not hearing about those same performance gains from PlayStation first party games, which is kind of what I would expect to see first, and then I was expect to see third party kind of catch up.
yeah. So, but this is an enthusiast machine. For those folks who really, really want it, like they're definitely going to get it. I can foresee Kofi being another person on our team here who gets one. I don't know if day one, maybe sometime down the line. Like I said, you can sell me on a cool looking device. Like I'd buy the 5 Pro just for the color scheme when it was that original PlayStation one. I'd buy it just for that. But for everything else it does, just not my cup of tea. I would be very interested to know how well the 5 does in the future, or the 5 Pro does in the future, and how Sony sees the 5 Pro, if they see it as a success or just an okay thing, or if it might have become a failure. I'm always more interested in how the hardware is viewed than anything else. So, good on PS5 Pro. It's out. It's in the wild. People are playing it. I have no interest in it at all.
Okay. See, I could see myself getting a Pro like next year, because I figure next holiday might be like $100 off. I can see myself doing that.
I mean, Death Stranding 2 on the Pro.
Like I said,
Like I said, I don't know.
My PlayStation,
don't know about that.
My PlayStation is a Final Fantasy box. When Final Fantasy is no longer fully attached to PlayStation, I probably won't have a PlayStation anymore. 100%. So yeah, Omar, you sort of speaking up. What are your thoughts on the PS5 Pro?
Nothing. I don't own it.
Well, you got to hear Jube's review. You got to see some of the performance gains on Twitter.
No. I have been up the limit when it comes to Pro because I
Okay.
don't own it.
Okay,
Why
so you
should
didn't
I
look at like
focus-
any of the Digital Foundry reviews or
No, I
anything like that?
didn't. No, I didn't. Why? Why would I do that when I can put more hours into Metaphor?
Well, you might be a person who's. I mean, you are the diehard PlayStation person. You might be interested in owning
Yes,
such
yes, but
device.
yes, but I'm not gonna buy the console right now, so I'm not gonna invest in the console right now. So then I'm gonna stay off the limit from the console. Like the only thing I heard of is apparently the console can brute force games, which but to me it comes down to this. I'm not a tech person. So you can say SSR whatsoever, and I'm gonna be so out of touch with it. So why even bother? If I buy it and it's looking good, I'm gonna say it look good. But so far, I don't need one
Okay.
because my PS5 normal is working just fine.
Exactly.
All right.
You know what? Good on you, bro. Good on you.
Omar. That's exactly what the people needed to hear from you. They needed to hear, from the common everyday PlayStation player. Do they really feel like they need a pro? And you kind of gave us a great answer there.
No, I'm speaking for myself. I
Yeah.
don't know. If people love what you call it, it's not about the brand. If you love um
Well, what I'm saying is your
FP
take is very relatable. Is what I'm saying to a lot of
You heard it here
people.
first, folks. Omar explicitly said, "Do not buy a PS5 Pro.
That's not what he said.
yes,
Waste of time.
do
That
not
that's
buy
not
a
that's not what
Don't
he
PS5
said.
get
Pro.
Oh wow,
it."
That's not what he said. But
man.
Now, but real talk though, if you're a fan of technology and you got the money to fork for it, hey, do your research and then decide for yourself if you want to
I
buy
was just
it
pitching.
or not. I can't comment on that. I will say this. Apparently, not everything is called PS5 Pro Fidelity Mode or whatsoever. They have different words for it.
Hold on. I'm gonna pause you right there just for like 10 seconds. I will say they have too many modes. Like Spider-Man has like way too many fucking modes. Like they need to simplify that shit 100%. It's too many modes. It's like Performance Pro, and then it's like Fidelity Pro, and then it's like Balance.
Like I said,
bruh, just
I think
figure it out. Like pick one.
I kind of feel like the PS5 Pro is a semi-rushed product in the sense that I think it was kind of developed and was kind of sitting there for a while, but they weren't 100% confident if they were going to release it or not. Based on kind of what we were hearing, it was kind of like we were all wondering, like, is it coming? It is coming. It just sounded like it was very much on the table. Like it could have, just as much as it came out, could have just as easily not came out. That's probably why you're kind of, my opinion.
I
Just way
highly
too many
doubt.
modes. It's
I
confusing.
highly doubt that. It's just, I think the Pro, what's happening with the Pro is this. It just came out. Developers are working with it. It's gonna take a while. But my issue with the Pro is, like for me, if I was someone that bought the Pro, unless I own the games that they are making use of right now, which is, for example, Dragon Dogma 2, or if you played Rebirth, if you haven't played Rebirth, then Final Fantasy Rebirth. I'm not sure about Yakuza. I think it does. Um,
I don't. I think games like Dragon Dogma 2 don't really perform too well on the PS5 Pro. At least,
I
I'm not
actually
gonna say.
heard
I'm not gonna say it doesn't perform well. It just doesn't necessarily have the performance gains that people would expect because it's more of a CPU bound game. And that was
I
like one.
actually heard that it does perform well, and the same can be
I'm
said
sure it performs
to
better, but
Armor
it's still
Core.
like
But 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 the thing is, that's what the Pro is. It's supposed to be better. How much better? You can't you can not talk about that. You can't just, let me say that. How do I say that? You gotta take that for whatever it is because you bought a console for better. You're getting better.
Because like even on the
But not in every case though. There are some cases where it's like you're like, what is this?
because even
But
Dragon Dogma 2 struggles on PC because it's so CPU bound at times. So um that's kind of that particular game in general. Look at Nappy's over here like, yeah, my Dragon Dogma 2 struggling like shit over here on my PC, especially when I go to certain parts of it.
I mean, it's the town. It's like the benchmark area because of all that goddamn AI for every single NPC.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is that it's not. I wasn't like dogging on the PS5 Pro itself. It's like that's a very CPU intensive game. So the performance gains will kind of be limited.
if a game is already CPU limited, you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the GPU is what got the upgrade, not the CPU.
Yeah,
correct.
So Dragon Dogma 2, that's like you may see better graphic qualities, but I mean even then, like I want to see a higher FPS.
Yep,
that's for sure.
Like people were talking about fucking Baldur's Gate 3. It's like that is still a very CPU bound game. They're like, oh,
the
you get 4K 60. No, it's native 4K 30. Or
native?
PSSR 60. Yes, it is native 30, which is nice.
I know I'm talking about native 4K. The native 4K part is
30
without the 1900 resolution upscale to 4K. What they do with a lot of their games.
But like I said, they use their PSSR, like they use upscale for the 60 frames mode, so it still looks pretty damn good. But the 4K native is only
interesting. All right. Got my tea.
So, and last but not least, Nappy, the person that we know will never buy a console of any sorts. What are your thoughts? Of seeing the all-powerful PS5 Pro that rivals the 5090 and can do everything that your PC could never do.
Why you lying?
Oh, really? That's nice.
I'm just telling you what the streets been telling me.
Actually, so I definitely did look at a lot of videos, and there's actually a lot of comparisons, and a lot of tech YouTubers that I follow. They have tore that thing down to like the bare like motherboard itself, and then put it all back together. Hopefully, that liquid metal stays in place because every time you tear down a PlayStation 5. That liquid metal may seep out. It's clearly not meant to be torn down.
It's always a risk.
Yeah, I advise people never tear down your PlayStation 5 Pro, especially removing the heatsink blocks, because that liquid metal is applied on a certain way, and if you tear it down and put it back on and they have a little bit of a smidget off, it can easily fry your motherboard and you'll be screwed. But that's besides the point. But looking at the PS5 performance, it seems as though the PS5 is it's overall around a 10% upgrade compared to the regular PlayStation 5. It is an upgrade. It is an upgrade. Is it $200 worth of an upgrade? I can't. No, I can't see that, because I mean you're still running RDNA 2 chip, the RDNA 2 chip. It's just a slightly bigger die, which it can help out with certain games. But then again, if you guys are talking about these crazy open world games, which is more CPU intensive, then you guys brought up Dragon Dogma 2. CPU intensive because that's stupid AI that wants to remember everything or remember every last little conversation you had with it. And Baldur's Gate 3, another CPU intensive thing where it has so much stuff going on off screen that it's just ridiculous. You literally got the whole town still like NPCs still functioning around on your CPU. I'm just like, why? This game, the PlayStation 5 Pro, it is a hard sell for people who already own a PlayStation 5. If you own a PlayStation 5, I don't see a reason for you to get a PlayStation 5 Pro because you're only getting around a 10% upscale in performance. Now it could increase over time because it seems like developers haven't taken advantage of this new upscale technology. At least Call
But
of Duty runs better.
You
At least-
forget if it's still CPU bound, upscale is not. It doesn't care about that.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying. I'm saying the game's going to look better. It's not going to run faster.
So
Yeah, it's not going to run any faster. You get no frames.
so the issue that you're going to run into with developers putting more time on task is how well does the PS5 Pro sell? It has to sell enough for it to be worth it. So if they sell like 5 to 10 million units, I'm sure developers most definitely.
I'm pretty sure them scalpers helped out.
But well, it's not just the sales; it's how many are actually active. You know, like.
And I would say from the PC standpoint, there is no way in hell a PC person is going to buy a PlayStation 5, especially now that we are about to get the announcements of the NVIDIA's new GPUs and AMD's new GPUs as well. Ain't no way in fucking hell, because we already know that NVIDIA and AMD about to charge us an arm and a leg for these new GPUs, especially since they're the ones that are getting the newest technology for their RAM for the graphics, which is the GDDR7.
Yeah, that
59. We're going to be paying a premium for our graphics. We'd rather pay a premium for some newer technology with newer chips than for older technology. I'm about to say we're about to be on RDNA 4. You guys are still in RDNA 2. It just doesn't. No.
Yeah, that 5090. That shit might be like 2500.
Now the 5070 might be $1,000, and that's the 1440p graphics card.
I know, but I'm saying that the 5090 is gonna be around 25.
It's
at least two. It's gonna be at least 2.
It's crazy.
The thing is, it's always marked up. Always marked up because of the fucking demand. It's gonna be around 25, bro.
Well, it's not even just the demand, but this is literally like we literally got an evolution in technology for the first time since the NVIDIA 10 series. So that's the thing. So like I said, we'll see what happens. But as far as me, does this make me want to get PlayStation 5 Pro? No, not at all. Not even remotely. Because again, my PC can already do everything the PlayStation 5 can do and more.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be DLSS.
But then you gotta when Spider-Man comes out, you gotta get that you gotta get a PSN. I know you guys don't so scared of putting PSN on your Steam
you can get the damn. We can get the damn PSN, but that doesn't matter. It's not gonna make me buy your goddamn console. Gotta lie to your goddamn shareholders.
So you're gonna submit and get your PSN.
For Spider-Man 2, I might actually do that because again, I'm a big fan of Spider-Man, and I just want to mod the hell out of it.
You know what? I was expecting to hear you say that you already got the mod to where you can skip the PSN. I've heard people doing that.
If there is, I'm going to definitely use it.
But I thought you were a delinquent. Guess you're not.
Well, not completely, but I'm definitely going to use it. I'm pretty
upstanding citizen.
I don't know about that.
So, but yeah, there was a mod. You may have to find it.
It's not going. If it's there, I'm going to find it. I know Sony's going to be pissed about that, but hey, I don't want to make. There's no reason for me to have a PSN account. I'm not using remote play or anything like that. Y'all not even offering a PSN live service like y'all did last time, where y'all had 10 games. Yes. I remember that thing on PC. That was a long time ago. I don't even know if it's still up.
Yeah, you talking about when they had PlayStation Now? When they had the PlayStation app?
It was something like that. It was basically similar to Game Pass, where I could just play on the cloud.
Yeah, that was PlayStation Now, because PlayStation had Game Pass before Xbox had Game Pass. It was PlayStation Now, so
Yeah. But the PlayStation 5 Pro with a 10% upgrade as of right now, I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm not impressed. If you're a PlayStation enthusiast and you don't have a PS5, then yeah, go for this Pro. I don't see much of a gain from it. And as a PC person, like I said before, PC's about to get some newer hardware that is going to literally put a hole in all of our pockets. So it's just dead. We're in the PC market. I can't see them going for this unless you got some really, really, really good exclusives that we ain't gonna see for a long time.
5090s on deck.
All in my pocket.
5090s, that shit better be water cooled though, because what was it? Them 4090s were already burning up.
That was a pin issue. So there was
Yeah.
so much voltage going through the pins, and if it wasn't in all the way, yeah, it can melt the connector. They already fixed that with the new regulators, so that's like a thing in the past now.
It'll be something new. You know,
We'll see, but
all that power means all that heat. Gotta be somewhere.
I usually aim for the 1440p, so I always stick with the 70 series. The 5080 is like 5080 and up is like for those who want the get experience 4K. 70s is of course the 1440p. 60 series is usually the 1080ps, and the 50 and below is like the budget people.
Yeah, so if you get that 90 or that 80, it's gonna be some heat. Know that.
I know. Get a 1500 watt power supply along with it.
Yeah, you might want to get a water card, water block for your card if you get, you know, one of those more intensive GPUs thing. But that said, we all have dropped our opinions on the PS5 Pro. I didn't really give my opinion. I seen some of the performance gains. I don't think you're getting $700 worth with that purchase if you are already a PS5 owner. I don't see the value in just upgrading just to upgrade. But I do think mainly PlayStation released this product to kind of get this PSSR out in the wild, get it in people's hands, get developers testing it, working on it, because I think PSSR and that technology is going to be a big part of the PlayStation 6. So I think more than anything, you got PSSR from this PS5 Pro so that they can get PS6 ready. That is my ultimate belief. I will stand on that.
PS6, they just need better CPUs, man.
But
the upscale tech is fine. If we get a good CPU, then
but the thing is, PSSR is proprietary, and being that it's proprietary, they're not relying on FSR or
correct.
DLSS.
But actually, you know what? I feel like this is FSR4 without being called FSR4, but it's a spin. We'll see.
It's their proprietary version of it, so they have to get it right, because they're not. It's probably they kind of want to get away from having to pay AMD for FSR or having to pay Nvidia for DLSS. So,
they still gotta pay them. I mean, they're using their chips.
Yeah, but they don't have to use every feature in the chip. They can have certain features not be included in the chip, and instead use their own.
That'd be crazy to create code from scratch.
They're doing it. You got the pisser. It's happening.
I mean, that pisser does not like anything unique though.
It will. Promise you.
There's like DLSS like literally can do everything that the pisser can do.
Yeah,
and more.
For a fee. Nothing's for free. So they make their own stuff. Just like, you know what? That everyone doesn't use Unreal 5. You know, sometimes people make their own engine.
I said DLSS. That's a card. That's Nvidia.
I'm just giving you different examples. You know, whenever you use somebody else's stuff, it comes with a cost. So you make your own stuff every now and then.
All right.
You know, it just is what it is. You know, you don't gotta like it, but you know that's why Xbox made the shitty ass slip space engine. It didn't work out. They got to go to Unreal 5. I'm sure they didn't want to, because they wanted to keep all that money for themselves. But now they got to use, you know, someone else's shit because their shit didn't quite work out. You know? So that's how I see it. And you know, I applaud PlayStation being forward thinking and kind of making their own stuff. I hope it works out for them. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. With that said, we can roll in the outros. Let me get this timestamp going. I done held y'all long enough. I'm sure it is approaching midnight, and you know, people got work in the morning, stuff like that. So let's get people out of here. So, outros. Jube, you were forever late, so you will not be the first one to get outro. Yay, I'm gonna go with Nappy because he was first.
Oh, that's just shocker. I thought Juby always had baby duties, but okay.
Baby sleep. It's midnight.
Yeah, I heard stories about them 1 a.m. wake ups and stuff. But anyway, that's besides the point.
He's on mountain time. It's 10 o'clock where he's at, or something like that. Almost
Okay.
whatever time.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good. So if you guys want to find me, you guys can find me here on YouTube. All you gotta do is type in Nappy Senshi, and you'll probably see my recent controller review, which again is the Nexus Warrior controller. So this is a controller that has native support for Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Wii, Nintendo Switch, PC, Android, and iOS. If you are somebody who loves the GameCube controller and like just a good controller for the retro scene, I highly recommend these controllers. 2 programmable back buttons, turbo mode, and you can interchange the joysticks. If you haven't noticed that the orange one has full range joysticks without the octagon rings, circular rings, and this one has more of the classic octagon ring with, of course, that classic C stick. So they're interchangeable. So that's a good thing about this controller. And what I'm about to post out really soon is the new controller, the Big One Blitz 2 controller. So this is the controller that has the 200 hertz polling rate. So this is technically one of the 2 fastest controllers you can currently buy for PC gaming as of right now. And also it works for Nintendo Switch. For some reason, I don't know why you need 2,000 pulling rate for a Nintendo Switch. I can't think of a game, but this is one of the 2 fastest controllers that's currently out. And also, once this video comes out, I'm going to have a little special affiliates link where if you use my link, you can purchase this controller. I get a little kickback as for convincing you to purchase this controller. And yeah, until then, I will see you guys next time. I'll be diving back into Metaphor Black Ops 6 on my TV for another.
Oh yeah, you are doing the cloud thing. How's that going?
It's going good. So I actually have recently went back on my PC just to do this controller review, and oh my god, I can tell that there's such a big input latency difference. And it's not like crazy where the input latency on my TV is still good because again, I have a hardwire connection to my router. And I got that like expensive gaming router and I got gigabyte internet.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the only thing I kind of wish is that like I could have voice chat with my TV, but then I realized my TV doesn't even like register voice commands. So, but overall Game Pass, I'm sorry, they just updated. Now it's called Cloud Gaming. So the Cloud Gaming app is actually not bad at all so far as playing games. I will definitely say like I could see like someone doing this if they have really, really good internet.
You should be documenting this. You should turn it into a YouTube video.
That actually was what I'm doing. I am documenting it. It's hard to record gameplay though on a TV when you're cloud streaming. So I have to like set up a camera in front of my couch. I have to clean up my living room a little bit and my busted up couch, which I'm going to get rid of soon. So I'm documented, and I have been playing a lot of Call of Duty on there. I've been playing a lot of Tales of Arise and some. Also, there was just like this little hermit crab Dark Souls like game that I tried out that is pretty cool.
Okay.
So,
Another Crab's Treasure.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it's on
really
PC
cool.
too, but it's on PC as well. But playing it on Game Pass, I was like, yo, this is not bad. But overall.
Do you have the
the cloud gaming that was good.
If you have an Elgato, you could still kind of record it that way. I don't know if you got one.
And what do you mean, like record my TV? So the thing about it is directly through my app, so it's like no devices whatsoever.
You can plug your TV into the Elgato as the input. And still record.
Oh, you're saying it record? It's wherever my TV sees, it sees, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I maybe we'll see, but as of right
whatever
now,
it records whatever the input is.
because I don't even think my HDMI ports can shoot an output, because usually my my HDMI ports are input. So if they could shoot out, that would be cool, but I'm not sure. But yeah, like I said, I'm still doing the game, and I'm planning on releasing a video about it. Just talk about cloud gaming on my TV and some stuff, and give my opinions on that. But that's it for my outro. I'll give these other guys a chance.
I'll see. I might have a solution. I think I've done something before. But
All right. Well, yeah, just send it to me, and I'll look into it.
I'll look into it myself. Okay. Let's see. Omar, where can we find you? What you got going on?
You can find me Caramel Job on Twitter and Other Player Podcast every Saturday, 5 p.m. City Standard Time. Great show, great conversation. Hit that like button, share the stream out, and play Metaphor.
Play Metaphor, because that game is
Also,
fire.
anyone is going to play the Dragon Quest 2?
You mean Dragon Quest 2?
Not
Wait, I thought it was Dragon Quest
a
Vel.
remake or remaster coming out.
I don't know. That honestly was not on my. I'm kind of stomped on games right now.
No. Right now I'm on Metaphor and Black Ops. I got to get through those two. I've dropped Madden. They pissed me off. So those are the only two games I'm playing right now. So that said, Zero, where can people find you? What will you be playing?
You can find me 0386 or 0.exe pretty much everywhere. And like everybody else, Metaphor, and a little bit of Call of Duty. Like that, I'm locked in till I finish this game. And I gotta finish it. The goal is to finish it by next month. I think I can make that happen.
That's 3 people, Metaphor and COD.
Dude,
Well,
I took a week off from work, and I still got to barely play Metaphor. I don't know what happened. I need to like abandon my family for like a week. Next time I go on vacation, I need to like just abandon.
Oh, that's.
It's just 5 days. Not
It's just 5 days. That'd be fine.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah, they will be fine.
You know, it's not like I'm like.
It's not like you're going out for cigarettes or milk, never coming back.
Yeah.
Like I'm coming back. I mean, I'm even here. You just don't talk to me. Leave me alone.
Yeah, the door's locked.
But yeah, that would be it for me. I'll see you guys next week, and I'll have more Metaphor info.
All right. And last but not least, Jubei. Where can people find you, and what will you be playing? Oh, lost him. Going once. Going twice. All right. You can find Jubei at JubeiX Sensei on Twitter, and I believe JubeiX Sensei on all other gaming streaming platforms. He will be playing Black Ops 6 and Metaphor along with the rest of the panel, and I'm sure when he isn't having his tail tucked between his legs, you might just catch him on Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero. Until then, I want to thank everyone for coming out and getting their weekly dose of that vitamin G. We are out. Peace.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside.
Talk little shit
All
about
alone.
Vitamin J.
all people where they can find you.
Vitamin J.
All alone.
Vitamin J. Hey.
You rockin'
with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets.
Fantastic for me.
I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G.
While our record isn't what I would like,
Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G.
we have become so ass that people get to see what Lamar Jackson really is, and
Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking
no, the most aggressive.
and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside.
I would say the wide receiver
All alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need.
maybe above average.
G.
Pretty good.
Got what you need.
Tight end.
All alone.
Vitamin G.
Line
Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets.
is a very good.
Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside.
He decides to be in the locker room, giving locker room speeches. He decides to have a post-game interview after every game. Like, bro, we understand you own it. You know? Yeah, for
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside. All alone.
about winning, but he,
Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin G.
alright, so who cares about
Ayy. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G.
I'm not disagreeing.
Rockin' with beasts.